And welcome everyone to Tyranny of Dragons. I am Mr. DM, and with me are my amazing players. Hello, amazing players.
Hello.
Aloha.
Aloha. So we unfortunately we are down one individual, Matt, who we all miss and love, but as I've said previously, real life always comes before gaming, unfortunately. So Matt will be joining us when Matt is able to join us. So, but in the meantime, we will continue forward in his honor, playing our interesting sessions, and see how it goes. But well, everybody, again, welcome. Very few announcements. First announcement, as a reminder, and it's already starting to happen in chat. Inspirations. So you can purchase inspirations using channel points for both the players and myself. If you wish to get for the players, you have up to 3 opportunities per session to do so. If they're not used, you will have the channel points refunded to you. But you can choose to either give it to an individual person or to the group. If you give it to the group will decide what to do with that inspiration. Everyone gets 1 opportunity to give me inspiration, and it is a little more expensive because you are immutably altering the course of the game because it's direct DM inspiration. But I could use it to help or hinder depending on the situation. So use it wisely, but use it. And don't worry, as I said, if it's not used, you will have the channel points refunded to you. Second announcement, for those who might not recall, there are no more. I'm not streaming on Fridays anymore. Friday Night Magic, at least for the time being. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, no issues. No, aside from the occasional scheduling hiccup, or again, as I said, real life happening. But Wednesdays and Thursdays for the foreseeable future, no issues as far as whether I'm going to be continuing streaming. Fridays, not happening. Hopefully that'll change sometime in the future, but as of right now, it's nixed. So if you were someone who was interested in watching me get my ass kicked in Magic all the time, or at the very least using my funny voices, there might be opportunities at different times to do that. Not on these streams, not on my D&D streams, but something else that might come up in the future. But we'll see. And last but not least, please, please, please support these amazing people that are right here in your face on the screen, who are amazing content creators in various forms, whether it is books, whether it is voice acting, whether it is running their own content, all of these folks are amazing. Please follow them, do all of the things, support all of their stuff. It is, if you're not doing it, what the hell's wrong with you? You will have more of that information as during our break. You will see a lot of that information during our break time. So you'll be able to, throw support with every which way that you can. But please, please, please support these amazing people. I am so proud and happy to be able to share them with all of you. But just because I'm sharing them, for D&D doesn't mean that they don't do anything else but D&D. All right. So just support all of the things. They are amazing people. They deserve your support as well. So with that out of the way, we can now move forward and continue with our session, Tyranny of Dragons. Alrighty. And we're back.
Yay.
Oh, we got an extra player. Look at that.
Yay! All the NPCs. Oh, and she's gone.
And she's gone. All right. Damn it. All right. Okay. So, last session, actually, hold on one second. I'll do that later. As of last session, you had a number of you had partaken in some fights that was being held below Vasily's Tavern. You also did some shopping previously, but upon finishing that shopping, you went to engage in your midday fights with some various interesting people. Basha had her fight with a very elderly monk known as Awat the Swollen, where she met not only him, but his grandson, Bako, who initially it seemed like she was very excited to fight, but then it turned out to be the old man.
Gonna be a different kind of fight.
Yeah.
Additionally, Vincent wasn't too keen on fighting, as he was worried about possibly hurting people and getting disqualified. So Drovar kindly took his place in that fight, where he fought a paladin of Lathander, who you did find out is actually a rare calling. Not a lot of, there are many clerics and followers of Lathander, but not many paladins, apparently. Who was also accompanied by his squire, a female dwarf by the name of Doring McGuinn. That was an interesting fight in itself. Drovar getting a little singed in that fight as well, but came out ahead and won that fight. Where Barum at Barum Firefist was actually quite thrilled to actually have a challenge. It seems that there hasn't been much of a challenge lately in the fights, which is probably one of the reasons why they haven't been held as often. And then last but finally not least was the fight amongst Amala and the reigning champion, who is the reigning champion no more, Kirad the Blessed, who turned out to be a gem dragonborn, a ruby gem dragonborn, who had some odd skills, to say the least, being able to fly at will, using psychic daggers and psychic lances, and you both gave as good as you got, but thankfully, Amala was able to pull out the win just barely, after two devastating attacks from Kirad, in which during the culmination of the battle, Kirad was basically cried uncle and did concede the fight, as long as Amala was up to possibly having a conversation after finishing cooking, because it turned out that Kirad was also Vasily's cook. After the fight, you all got your winnings, and a number of you, Awat seemed to be done for the day, and Bako was a little into his sake cups and offered to show Basha his rock garden, which was at the beginning of that conversation, at the beginning of the actual drinking. He was not as outgoing. It seems that the sake lubricated the social experience between him and Basha. Drovar also seemed to have made a meeting of sorts with Barum's squire after she escorted him back to their lodgings. She said that she would meet with Drovar in the tavern above rather than the tavern below at some point, during the day. Because currently it is about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It is not the midnight fights. If you recall, that was actually scrawled out, and midday fights where it was actually written. And you also had a number of individuals that you had met during your excursion into the city who were actually there at the fight as well. The two twin brothers, two twin half-orc brothers, blacksmiths, left pretty much right after the fight. However, the tabaxi that you met, Kale, who runs Kale's Curiosities, kind of hanging back after the fight has ended. Most patrons have already begun exiting. And as everyone is pretty much, at this point, mostly gone, with the exception of just a few people, Kale actually comes over to you, Gorple. And just kind of walks over and just kind of leans down to your level and actually kind of whispers to you, "Oh, my good friend, it is wonderful to see your companions and what they are capable of. If you are interested, or maybe they are interested, there were some things I have in my shop that were not for public consumption that maybe you might be interested in. So please feel free to stop by if you wish."
As patrons of the arts, I'm sure we will come to support you in our near future. I'll talk to the big winner over there as I look at Drovar. But I'm sure we can make some sort of arrangements.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. And please feel free to let the Grand Champion know that I will extend further discounts to her and her amazing companions as well.
Speaking our language.
Kind of, the tabaxi kind of nods and is very well. Enjoy the rest of your day. And then
You as well.
They kind of make their way back up the stairs, going up. So we have a couple of conversations that seem to need to be had. Who would like to go first? Drovar, Amala, or Basha? Looks like Amala. Look at that.
My vote went to Basha because it'd be hilarious and I want to see
fine.
it.
I'll go first. I'll go first. That's fine.
All right. So
Love you.
Oh, this is gonna be so oh god. All right, let's do it.
So, Basha, as you are leaving, Bako kind of put his arm out for you to take. And as a reminder, he is shirtless, completely oiled, and at this point he's getting a little sweaty, mostly having to do with how much he's been drinking over the course of the fights. You do leave the tavern, and the whole time he's kind of talking with you, and he's definitely just trying to make small talk, but he's mostly talking about his training. A lot of it is just kind of going right over your head, because he's talking about intense disciplines and moving the rocks from here to there, sticking his hands in hot coals. Things that sound very, very painful to you.
This is interesting. We don't do this for magic.
Oh, no. Grandfather is always, he has the utmost respect for magic users, but it was just something that was never his forte. It was a valiant effort, but it's you see, even at his age, you see how disciplined and strong and fast he is.
It is scary when people that use fists and things get up too close, and you are magic. It is bad idea.
Oh no, definitely, and I was very surprised. He didn't get hurt at once, at least externally. That's always been an issue.
I think if Circle had been a little bigger, you would have seen more difference. It is difficult in closed corners.
Oh, that well, I see. That's how we fight. We have to be
I know.
up in your grill, like up in your face, just yeah, yeah. And he gets quiet, all of a sudden. But as he does kind of like get back into it, and the one thing that seems very interesting to you, is that he mentioned a number of times Candlekeep. That is where him and his grandfather have only been in Eltegard for only about 2 or 3 years. They've mostly been living. He's raised in Candlekeep, but he's not. From the impression that you're getting is not a big reader, but him and the clan were the ones that actually protected the keep from a number of dangers.
Interesting. Tell me of growing up in Candlekeep. What was like? I mean, aside from having to protect everyone, what's it like?
Well, I had to have, when I was younger, it seemed like normal. Like this was how I was raised. This is what I was being raised to do. It seemed normal. But as I got older, it was very strange because you get to a certain age and you're like, why am I protecting books? Like, books are stupid. Like, just, I don't. And then grandfather just completely put it in perspective for me. I wasn't protecting the books. I was protecting the people who needed the books. And that's a big difference. That is such a big difference. And it just
Bosh is like looking down at her spell book, like, don't take it personally. Know that she can't say it out loud, like, it's okay.
You do hear Jan is like,
yeah, if he doesn't like books, he doesn't like books. Just, I don't think he might like it when he figures out that books don't like him either.
Perfect.
But it kind of continues this way for a while, and you're kind of walking for about 20 minutes or so, and you get to this certain, and as you're kind of walking through Elturel, you can see like most of the buildings here are made of stone, and then you find this anomaly in the middle of these stone buildings. It is this one-story ranch style home that is completely made of wood, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb amongst these stone buildings. It looks very, very simple as you come to it. There's nothing extraordinary about it other than it just is out of the ordinary of the style of all of the other buildings. As you approach it, there's no external ornamentation. It seems very well kept, but it's just a simple door. There are simple windows with shutters. The wood is kind of like a dark, like chocolate brown, and the roof itself actually comes to a point with these large kind of reddish logs. And as he kind of opens the door for you, he runs up like a few steps ahead of you and kind of opens the door for you. And as you enter, you watch as he kicks his boots off to the side, and he just very politely asks you if you would mind removing your shoes before you entered the house.
Yeah, she'll do that. She's wearing, of course, very complicated, like, lace-up, like, boots, like, so it, like, takes, like, not, like, tall boots. We're not talking, like, go-go boots here, but, like, the short ankle boots, so it, like, takes me time,
He immediately gets down on his knees and begins to help you undo your laces. As he sees that
I like this guy more. I'm like, all right, books in my head. It's like books on the fence about. Okay, he doesn't like books. I mean, not everybody likes books. It's still pretty rough, but this is nice.
And as you enter again, the inside very much matches the outside. There's no ornamentation that you can see. There definitely are a few rooms you can see doors into rooms that are closed, but There's no decorations on the walls. There's no carpeting. Everything is wood. And as you kind of walk through, the floors are immaculate. They seem well kept, well cleaned. There's no dust on anything. It's almost as if you're walking into a home that is brand new, that has just like you're being shown a new home.
Yeah, like I think Basha will commentate and just be like, "Well, this is like if you could see my home, you would understand why this is so strange. Like your house is perfect, and there's not even dust. Like this is very different."
Oh well, you know, I mean, I do my best to keep it up. You know, it's also part of my training. You know, grandfather says that you have to humble yourself by doing the work that anyone else would do, the work that you would expect others to do in your stead. You should have no issue and no problems doing that kind of work. So this is something I've done since I was young, but thank you. I appreciate it. I try to keep a good home.
We've definitely done that.
Yeah. He kind of walks you through the house a little bit. And at this point, you start to pick up on some smells, and as you look, you can actually see down one corridor. It looks like cut into the floor is some kind of like fire pit, and there is like a pot in the middle of the floor, and you can see two individuals around this pot, and it seems like they're cooking. They're adding ingredients and spices. And as you kind of walk by, they see Bako, and they immediately bow. He bows to them. We're gonna be outside in the garden. We'll just keep doing what you're doing. And he seems very, very nervous, kind of a little flustered, and continues to lead you to the back of the home. And as he opens up the door, and this door slides open. As it slides open, you are not expecting the sight that you see before you, because there is this massive 6-foot wooden fence that is kind of squared off in the back. You cannot even see, weirdly enough, you cannot see any of the other stone homes that are surrounding this area. Mind you, as you walked in, they were 2-3 stories higher than this building. All you can see is the sky, and the second sun as well, just kind of in the sky as well. And before you is a beautiful rock garden. It is just completely covered in sand. Certain sections in the corner have these beautiful bonsai trees, massive size bonsai trees, that are just kind of coupled in the corners, bending towards the middle, and just surrounded by various sizes of rocks that seem to be placed in some kind of order. But you can't really tell how, but somehow just being here makes you feel serene, makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah, and I think when she kind of takes a moment, looks around, she's like, "You did all this? This was your doing?"
Yes, I mean, grandfather is the one who taught me how to do this, but yeah, this is what I come to do as part of my training. Also a way for me to meditate. But you can't get the full effect unless you see it from the top, from the roof. Would you like to come up on the roof?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I would love to.
He immediately puts you in a fireman's carry, and grabs the side of the roof, and with one hand just kind of and just like vaults up onto the roof, and then very, very delicately kind of sits you on the roof, and it's not like a steep point. It is very kind of like very narrow. You can definitely stand and walk and sit if you wish. But he very delicately kind of like puts you down onto the roof. And as you are looking down on this rock garden, you can now see that all of there's boulders and rocks and pebbles, and they are all in these kind of swirl patterns all over the garden. and you could not see it from where you were just kind of standing, at the back of the house. And you now get this perspective, and you're just like, oh, wow, it's beautiful.
Now, just because of their background with Candlekeep and everything, these aren't arcane symbols. This is like just traditional, like rock garden, right?
These you would know. I wouldn't even make you roll.
That's
for
why
this.
Yeah.
It is just very simply just like kind of these intricate, like circular, semicircular patterns that kind of almost, as you're kind of looking at them, you almost get lost in the patterns. And you find that your mind is actually becoming very calm, and you're actually able to kind of hear yourself think. I also need you to make an intelligence check for me. Actually, no,
okay.
this would actually be Arcana. This one.
Okay. All right. 27.
27.
That's a nat 20. Yep.
As you're standing on the roof and you're watching this, and your mind is actually becoming more focused and calm, you realize around the fence and around the home where you're standing, it's still like you are now above the fence, and all you see is it just looks like grass plains. And you now, as you're kind of focusing now, you start to see that there's this kind of like barrier around the fence, and you realize it's an illusory barrier. Rennie, your mic's open. I can hear an echo. Sorry. Yeah, no worries. Sorry. I was like, is that me?
Oh, it's probably me rubbing my stubble.
Okay.
That's funny.
Nice. But yeah, so as you kind of looking, you can see this house has an illusory barrier around it. And now that you're focusing, you can, just because you're focusing, you can actually see slightly on the other side of the barrier. You can see the outline of the stone buildings around this house. But clearly, like it's a huge enchantment.
Baco, did you do this enchantment around the building, or did someone else do this?
Oh, no. When grandfather and I came here, we were escorted by some of the scholars from Candlekeep who wanted to make sure that we got here safe. And as a gift to him, they actually created the house and the illusion and everything for him, as his as a retirement gift.
That is a very nice retirement gift. Speaking as one who knows other magic folk, that was very kind. This is beautiful.
Oh, they're really nice people. They were very, very sad to see him go. I mean, the clan is still there, but
what was their name? The clan.
Clan of the Burning Sun. That's the clan that we come from. And I mean, we occasionally go to visit. I have cousins and uncles and aunts who are still there. But we live here now.
That makes sense. Now, you may not be one for books, but I must admit I have always wanted to see all the books in Candlekeep. It has been sort of a distant thing. Not all wizards get to go, and all wizards talk about it all the time about how wonderful it is there. So,
I'm sure grandfather would get, if you'd like grandfather could write a letter of introduction for you, and so whenever you want to go, I'm sure they'd be very happy to see you.
Yes, that would be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's probably he's not. I know that Master Froom was going to bring him home, but it's probably going to be a while.
That's okay. It doesn't have to happen now. I'll remember.
I just want to remember. I don't have a good memory for things sometimes.
Well, you may not have good memory, but you clearly have good eye, and I point down at the rock garden. I'm like, look at the lines are perfect. It's just very, very calm.
As you say beautiful. This, you look at him, and he is blushing. Like, he is bright red. He's like, thank you. That's grandfather says that if I wasn't going to be a monk, I was probably going to be an artist of some kind. So yes, thank you. You really like it?
I do. I love it. We do designs like this from culture at home. We draw on wood. We have a lot of wooden structures and walls too. It looks different from yours, but we draw different floral patterns on them. They're kind of complicated, and all the symbols mean different things. Some of them arcane, some of them not, but it's a little different. But we also make patterns, so I like patterns. It is calming.
Is that what it's like in Neverwinter? I've never been there before.
Oh, Neverwinter, no. Neverwinter is like a city of just a whole bunch of different people coming together with all different viewpoints and things like that. But I come from very different place, and I'll start like telling him like in brief about like my home and how like like giants live there too, but like humans and like like kind of the culture and like I touch a little on Bocek, but not enough to like make me upset. But like I had a friend and and it was like we grew up together, well, like I raised it, I helped raise him as like babysitter and whatever. And I'm just kind of like that culture we tried to bring to Neverwinter, like with my family, and I tell them about. Yes, and my sister now is with my daughters and is staying with them while I am here with her fiance. They may be married by now. I don't know how long it's been.
Well, I know how rough it is to not be with your family. I mean, it's like I said, we visit every now and then, but I was raised in Candlekeep, so to not be with them it's hard. I understand.
You turned out okay, though. Like, I mean, without your parents around as much, I feel really bad. My daughter is going to learn things. She goes to study with the wizards, and I feel bad that I'm not there for her right now. But, like, was it okay for you, like, training with your grandfather?
Yeah, it was okay. My parents, they died protecting Candlekeep. There's been a number over the years of incursions. People always try to. Yeah, I don't understand books. I know there's a need for books and the knowledge that comes in them, but I was never one of those people. But clearly, the power that is in those books or the people who study those books needs protecting. And over many years, the Candlekeep has come under attack, and my parents died in one of those attacks. I was really young. I don't remember. I don't remember that happening. But grandfather's the only family other than my aunts and uncles, and cousins. He's my mom and dad.
He seems to do very good job at that. So he did very good job raising you. Clearly.
Yeah, I'll never tell him that, but yeah, he did.
I'll tell him for you. It's fine.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's Candlekeep and it's an amazing place. Like it is. There's some places in there that like one day you walk into a room. And then the next day, you go into the same room, and it's not the same room. It's just fantastic. But it's regardless of what rooms you go into, they're all filled with books. Like it's crazy. I've never seen so many books.
Do you want to see a very interesting book that I have?
Sure.
I will show you. I will introduce you to someone, although you can't talk to him. But I'm gonna manifest Jan like out of my I'm gonna take out my spell book and make a big deal about the fact that I have the spell book. I'm not just gonna like summon Jan out of thin air, but I'm gonna be like, all right, and now I'd like you to meet Jan. You can't hear him, but I can. So Jan.
Yeah, and you watch as you take the book out and you manifest mind. This tiny frost giant head just kind of like appears, and it doesn't seem to shock him. He doesn't get like startled or anything. He just kind of looks at it inquisitively. He's like, oh, you're one of those wizards that you can kind of use your spell book to do things other than hold spells, right?
Yes, I am me and my book and I are very close, yes.
You said it talks to you?
Yes, I can hear him in my head. I can go visit him in the book sometimes.
Wow, I haven't heard that before. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's normal or not, and I haven't had the chance to ask my head wizard if that's normal or not. I probably should, because, I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, I see the face and everything. That's new. But yeah, again, like I said, I had wizards who were friends of mine, but I was mostly protecting them. It was not really something I was interested in. But there are wizards just like you who are able to talk to their books and do stuff that you just mentioned. So yeah, I'm sure you find a lot of colleagues there if you ever go.
I definitely will. That sounds nice. I'm also gonna kind of mentally tell Jan, hey Jan, if you want to go wander around the rock garden, he can only go so many feet away, but I'll be you can go wander.
Right now, Jan is giving Bako the only stink eye. And just does not respond to you when you say anything. It kind of the head nods, and then just moves 2 inches to your left, and then turns and is just stink eyeing, Bako and not moving.
Oh no. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, this is conversation for later.
So Bako just kind of sits there. You two continue to engage in casual conversation. And then at some point he just goes, Basha, how do you spell your name?
It's and I spelled, in common, I'm sure, but I don't know if it's different, but Basa.
Okay. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. And
okay.
he flips off of the roof, hits the ground in a superhero 3-point landing. And he pulls out this rake, this large wooden rake, and he goes into the garden, and you watch as he begins kind of making these swirls in the sand. And he's as you're watching him, it's very hypnotic. He is, because he is not moving, he is moving very gracefully with the motions of this rake in the sand. It's almost as if you're watching someone dance. And after about 10 minutes of just watching him, you're just watching him and his movements. You don't realize it until he's done. When he is done, he seems to almost walk on top of the sand without disturbing it. And he jumps back up onto the roof with you. And as you kind of shake off, because all your attention has been on him, and you look down at the swirls, using these patterns, he has spelled your name in the sand.
Wow. That's really nice. And now I'm the one who's flustered.
I'm glad you like it. If you're okay, we can go down and get some food.
That would be nice. I would like that. Yes.
Okay. I made the mistake of not asking you when I first did it, and I'm very sorry. But can I pick you up this time to take you down?
Yes.
And this time, instead of putting you in a fireman's carry, he actually very gently lifts you, princess carry, and just jumps off the roof. And as he does, he very, very slowly falls from.
That's so cool.
And then just very lightly hits the ground, and then gently puts you down. He says, "Okay, come on, let's go in and get in." And it just kind of like without even waiting for you, just kind of runs inside. And you can see he is blushing, he's super, his whole body is red. It's not just his face, because again, he's shirtless.
Shirtless, oiled, got it. Yeah. I remember this.
Yes. And he walks in, and you follow him inside. And there are the two servants that you saw inside see you, and they begin kind of serving you food. And there are like plates and bowls of different types of food, and they just kind of ask you what you like. There's water, there's rice wine, there's mead, there's ale. There's no end of if there's a type of food that you want, they are more than willing to make it for you if it's not there.
Oh no, I will eat what's there. I'm gonna be polite. I want to try what they're all eating. So if it's different, so
and it's mostly food that you're used to. There's no, with the exception of the rice wine, which you had already partaken in at the fight. Nothing else seems to be out of the ordinary as far as the food is concerned. It all seems pretty normal. And you literally for the rest of that afternoon, you kind of sit there and you just have like this interesting. As he begins to sober up, because he doesn't actually continue drinking the rice wine, you see him actually start drinking water. And as he's sobering up, he's talking less and less.
No. Okay.
But he's asking when he does speak with you, he's asking about you. He wants to know about your girls. He wants to know about where you used to live before you lived in Neverwinter. Like, he seems very, very interested in you. But doesn't seem to, like, when you ask him, if you ask him a question about himself, he kind of gives you the simplest, fastest answer he possibly can. Until such time as his grandfather comes walking through the door. Oh, you have already started eating without me. This is fine. I will just take a plate to go. I'm very, very tired. It's 5 p.m. And he grabs a bowl which seems to have been prepared for him, and he just, you kids keep talking. It's fine. I'm so tired. And he just takes the bowl and he kind of shuffles off down the hallway. You hear a door open and close, and and it is just you and Baco having an interesting conversation, and that can go however you want it to go.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
I will say at some point during this, I'm gonna check is Jan still side-eyeing him. I'm probably gonna dismiss him at some point. Has Jan still been glaring at him this whole time?
Until you dismiss him, Jan has been riding your shoulder kind of like a parrot, and has just been staring at Baco the whole time.
All right.
Baco doesn't seem to care. Baco doesn't seem to care or notice.
No, but I'm just gonna have to have a conversation with Jan later. That's fine. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, and so that is your afternoon,
Yay.
Basha. All right, Drovar, Amala, who wants to go next?
Drovar will go.
Okay. All right, so Drovar, about an hour or so after the fight, you've been kind of hanging out upstairs. You're getting a lot of congratulations from folks who are just kind of like milling about. Some of them are leaving, but as soon as they see you, that was an amazing fight. That was great. Oh my God, that was
glad you liked it. That was good.
That was like, you took that hit and you were still standing like, and there's just like people are just gushing. Like, there's so much gushing over you right now on the site.
All right.
But okay, after a while, people tend to kind of leave, and you're in the tavern. There's probably maybe about 5 or 6 people who are just still kind of like hanging out in the tavern, talking and milling about. Anytime you make eye contact with any of them, they're like, very, very enthusiastic. But eventually, you watch as Doring comes in through the door. She's no longer in her full plate metal armor. She just seems to be in like very simple, like traveling clothes. Boots, breeches, very simple tunic, shirt. And she sees you. She just kind of waves, goes up to Vasily, asks for a bottle of something. He gives her a bottle. She grabs 2 mugs and she just kind of walks over to the table with you. She puts the mug in front of you, puts the bottle down, and says, I hope you don't. I hope you don't think me presumptuous. I just got. You seem to like the fire water, so I got more.
Yeah, no problem with that. Yeah,
Right.
let's give it a go.
All right. And she kind of pours for you, pours for herself, clinks, clink, and then just kind of chugs it. Ah, good shit.
Hey, oh, that is good. Yeah.
Oh no, I was talking about the fight. That was a great
Well,
fight.
that was good too.
Yeah. So, where do you hail from?
Oh, Miramar.
Oh, really? Gauntlgrim.
All right. Yeah.
That's originally.
I know a few from there.
Ah, good. Yeah, so if you don't mind me asking, I'm gonna be very rude. Just heads up, that's just who I am. What brings you here?
Well, we're doing some stuff. We're waiting for somebody that Froome knows, and we're traveling around looking into various things. This person's gonna have some information, but he's not here yet. So Froome gave us a place to stay in this around here, and well, we came down here, and there was a bit of excitement to be had.
Oh yeah. Well, look, I can't even tell you. Berum, I've never heard him be so happy to get his arse kicked. Like it was just like he loves. Like, look, we both like a good scrap, right? But he hasn't been in the shit for a while. And every time he fights someone here, he feels really bad that he just trounces the shit out of him. So this time was just like, he was happy not only for the challenge, but that he lost. Like that's good. That because now he's supposed to be like getting ready, like he's doing his evenings constitutionals, getting ready for bed. He's training right now. He's like, oh no, I gotta step my game up. That Drovar guy, not only is he Dragon Slayer, he whooped my ass. It's great. I gotta get up there. So he's training right now. You lit a fire, excuse
I'm
the
happy
pun,
to do that.
under his ass. Yeah. So it's good.
Well.
It's good. But I haven't seen him this energized in a while. So I wanted to also thank you for that.
Hey, not a problem. I understand. You gotta sometimes, something comes along and it beats you. You either go back away from it or you step up. And I came down here. I wasn't even planning on getting in the ring, but our companion was going to do it, and he decided that maybe this he likes to throw spells and stuff, but they can get kind of big. So he decided to save it for the guys that really deserve it. So I took his place.
Gotcha. Well, that's really self-aware of him. That's really good, because Vasily doesn't take kindly to patrons or his furniture getting fucked, Yeah,
he looks over to wherever he is. Is his character Vincent still here?
Yeah, Vincent's kind of off in the corner, kind of like drinking. He seems to be like, watching everybody. And from your interactions with Vincent, he does not pick up on social cues very well. So it seems like he's like taking this moment to kind of like watch people and try to learn. And as you kind of turn, he just kind of looks at you, goes,
"Yeah, he's learning. He's learning to."
No, that's good. That's good. Well, that's very, like I said, very self-aware of this, and that's smart too. It's smart too, especially if you're in a battle. You got to know what your limitations are, if there are limitations, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's
definitely
good.
Hey.
And what about you? Like your style was, he did say barbarian. I've never met one. Like, is that a fighting style or?
I don't know if there's a formal style to it. It's just when
you just get angry and you just gotta fuck shit up.
Used to be that way. I was in the military for a while in the Miramar, the Dwarven 33rd. That was us, the 33rd, and
right.
Well, we saw a lot of action, but I wasn't really one for the standing in line and formation kind of thing.
I kind of get that. Yeah,
I'd get promoted and then I'd get demoted the next night. That kind of thing.
All right.
But found that I was too good in the field for various things. I just didn't do well in the drill hall. and
Gotcha.
listening to officers who didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. But out in the field, worked with some, other folks who moved a little quieter. I found I didn't need the armor; it slowed me down. But once the fight started, well, back then I just liked fighting anybody.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean we've got some lads like that in the Hell Raiders. Yeah, because there is like, I wouldn't say like it's a formal military, but they do like tactics and formations depending on like what situation comes up. But like all of their situations involve going into a portal of hell, and then fighting demons and fiends and crap, So at some point in time, those formations go right out the fucking window. So like you probably that sounds like where you would just excel. Like, so I mean, Baron like is very, very, like, he said that he would talk to them if you wanted to join the Hell Raiders. Like that's not a little thing, That's huge.
So you folk actually still do that. Actually, you founded yourselves by going in and fighting, in hell, and then got your way out. Do you guys still actually just go in there?
When the portals appear, it's been maybe like 20 years or so since the last portals came open, but the training still happens. They, when there's some kind of threat that like normal people can't, take care of, they do call in the Hell Raiders. But that's basically if a portal shows up, they're the first ones to ride into it. So even if it's not hell, it's just like obviously someone needs to know what's going on, and that's the job.
So if a door just appears and nobody knows where it's from, you're lot are the ones who go in to find out.
Oh yeah, and if it's a threat, neutralize the threat. If we can't neutralize the threat, figure out a way to close the portal so it doesn't threaten anyone else. So that's pretty much, I mean, in a nutshell. Like, there's a lot that the Hell Riders, like, they like the manual's like this thick, but but that's generally the gist of what they do. They get like the utmost respect. They got a seat with the over in the main castle here. They serve sometimes as advisors. So yeah, it's not a little thing being asked or being invited to be part of the Hell Raiders. So
I appreciate the honor is getting up there. I appreciate it more. And so he pours 2 more drinks, and it's like,
yeah.
So what's the craziest action you've had?
I probably want to say a pack of trolls. Probably like 3 years ago now. They were kind of encroaching like on the very edge of Eltegard. And some of the patrols were having a hard time because fucking trolls. So of course you're gonna call in the Hell Raiders to come in because we do a lot of shit with fire. And that's if anyone knows anything about trolls, that's how you fuck them up, is with fire, acid, that kind of thing. So we went in, and of course I'm a squire, so I'm the one that has to go in the front, take the first hit, and also sometimes I'm the one that has to actually scout ahead. Hard to do in full plate, but it's the job.
Right.
I was kind of surrounded by 4 trolls before as I was scouting, and I had to hold them off until the rest of the regiment came in. It was that was something. I took 3 of them out. But by the time the regiment came up, the rest of the pack showed up. But because it was 4, and then it turned into 11. But by the time the rest of them showed up, we all came in there and we took care of them. That was probably the craziest thing.
That sounds like it. Yeah, I think
it was fucking nuts.
Might have dealt with a troll, but not a group, I don't think.
Oh yeah, it's weird when because they don't normally work in packs, because they're just like hideous, nasty creatures. They would fight and kill each other if they could.
So
But
were they working for someone, or somebody sent them there? Or?
we actually never found out. It was just we took care of them, and then they were never a problem anymore. So, but we get the occasional bandits, occasionally goblins and bugbears. But nothing we can't handle. Nothing like a portal to hell,
Right, of course.
or to the Nine Hills. It's just one of the hells. So.
Right. Okay, I have an out of game question. We've been hearing about Tiamat, and we know that she did something with Bocek's soul. Was it stated where Tiamat is in, like, that she's in the hells or anything like that? I'm trying to figure out if that's a connection Drovar has heard.
I will say, are you proficient in history?
Nope.
I will let you roll a history check at disadvantage if you want.
Sounds good.
This is happening at the Pair of Black Antlers, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, they're upstairs and not below in the fighting area now.
If I may, I'm going to say that you guys start hearing through the floorboards like a bit of chanting, a bit of stomping. It seems in the last few minutes just a pile of rowdy folk have showed up in the bar, and in that classic muffled bar fashion, you hear a ruckus downstairs.
Oh, right, because we're up above, and this is still
yeah.
back down where the fight,
And while it's pretty far down, like that long stairway is absolutely like an echo chamber. Like you can absolutely hear whatever's happening downstairs, especially if it's a lot of people. You can absolutely hear it kind of like coming upstairs.
Right. So like the liquid in our tankards is just a little bit of shimmer from.
Yeah.
Well, something started up down there.
Yeah. Oh, either someone has a unauthorized fight going on, or they're just singing some bar songs.
Well, my history rolls were an 18 and a 1, so he makes.
You're like you'd have no idea. You do know that because you were there when you saw it. You saw the claw reach out from a portal, and there were flames, but those flames might have just been from the dragon.
Right. Yeah. There's no connection he's making on that. So he just kind of, all right. Well, sounds like something's going on down there.
You want to go? You want to go check it out? We can take the
Why
boat.
not? Let's go. So he picks up the bottle in one of the tankards, and we head down there.
Okay. And as they head down there, what do they see, Anthar?
When you guys come down, as soon as you hit those stairs, there is a rowdy song. And as soon as you kind of crest those last few steps, you see Anthar, Fimin, Bonza, and his squire on a table, like arm in arm, doing this like stomp and chant, kind of, yo ho, and there's like flagons swinging, and it looks like Anthar is brought in people off the street to join in this, and it just looks like the fight and sort of the camaraderie and the challenge has just really fired him up for obvious reasons.
I turn to my my companion and just say, "No, there's someone who needs definitely to get out from behind the desk a little more often, eh?"
Oh no! Like anytime he goes out on patrol, like a story comes back. Like it's just like he's not going out there to lead a fight. He's going out there to create a legend. Like that's Froome. Like that's how he works, right? And as the singing's going on, you actually watch Doring, like she's starting to like get a little hyped up, and she's like, "Come on!" And she grabs your arm, Drovar, and they join. She pulls you over to them, and all kind of join. She's stomping, and she's like, "Woo!" She's like, yeah, she's just 100% into it.
Cool.
And sort of at the final point, the winnings from Amala's fight, Froome takes the pouch, just tosses it at Vasily, coins flying through the air. Drinks for everyone!
Vasily's like, everybody's, yeah! Vasily just kind of begins grabbing the coins, kind of putting them back in the pouch. He's like, next time you can just throw the pouch. It's fine. But drinks for everybody, yeah. Just continues to grab the coins and put them in the pouch. Drovar, is there anything else that you want to?
I mean, he's enjoying himself. He will continue the carousing.
Okay.
He might even try to recollect like one of his units like marching or drinking songs and try to like it's like no okay here Teddy follow along and I try to he'll try to teach them that.
Yeah.
But if he gets if it gets too much into his past, he starts to kind of shut down. So he kind of gets up to it and it's like no, and then backs away from the like older memories and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, and Doring doesn't seem to push. Like,
okay,
it's almost like she kind of gets it.
But otherwise, he's quite happy to carouse, and hang out down there.
Yeah.
And if she's up for snuggles later, he doesn't say no. But he's not.
Yeah.
He's not like, hey, I got a room in it. No, he's just enjoying the company.
Got a room I'm sharing with a frog.
Yeah.
So we can kick him out. He'll
Yeah. So at what point, like she, when you kind of intimate this to her, she kind of looks at you and she just goes and she punches you like super hard in the arm, and then she kind of kisses you on the cheek, and then she goes, maybe some other time.
All right.
But I'm open to it. Here's another drink, and she just hands you another drink, and just continue, and they continue going on about that way.
So you do get cornered at one point by Froome, who's just like, "Oh, hell of a fight, my boy!" and you can tell Froome is very technical. He's like, "Oh, that when you did the step and you twisted your hip at that last second to get that power. Oh man, I felt it." Like, and Froome is really into it.
Right. It was and in Drovar's mind, it's all in. There's no names to it. It's like I just twisted and did the swing because it felt like the right way to go. But he's like, he doesn't try to say, okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about. He's all instinct about it. So he just kind of, I did that thing.
Nice.
And Froome gives you drinks and is just very about it.
Yeah, Drovar probably just eventually pleasantly loses consciousness in a chair down there.
Oh no, yeah. Eventually, Vasily does like you're not the only one, Drovar. Like there's a few people down there who did not leave. Not only Froome's group, but just like a group of people that eventually just say, "All right, you can continue this upstairs. Come on, let's go. No sleeping down here. I gotta lock it up. And eventually, you all kind of like go upstairs.
Imala helps Drovar just go upstairs, like, come on.
Yeah.
And then we all danced with the Minotaur's daughter.
I think during
that one.
During the celebration, I think Gorpal kind of sulks off by himself to the private room, and I'll let you know what I'm doing later.
Okay.
Let Imala do her thing, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Fair
enough. All right, so Imala does help you, Drovar, and the rest of the group does get kind of like pushed up the stairs by Vasily. About maybe 20 minutes or so after that happens, Imala, you're kind of sitting upstairs with Drovar. Drovar's kind of like in and out of consciousness in his chair. You do watch float up the stairwell, Kirad. Once again, kind of cross-legged, just floating in the air, coming up the stairwell. Does not have the iron disc underneath him at this point, but is still floating, and sees you and just kind of like waves. The few people that are in there, they immediately just make a path for him, but also kind of like you see very, very respectfully just kind of like bow, and he just kind of like very, very respectfully back, kind of nods to them, kind of floats over to your table, and doesn't sit in a chair, just kind of floats at the appropriate size. Looks like he's kind of sitting in a chair, but is still floating. Is this a good time for us to speak?
Yes, it is.
It is okay for your inebriated friend to listen to this conversation, yes?
Yes, I don't think he'll remember any of what we say in the morning.
That is a shame.
I'll fill him in.
Very well, yes, because it is important for us to speak. I believe, and you probably have a number of questions as well. Yes.
I have very many questions.
So I will, if you will permit me, I shall begin, and maybe I will answer some of these questions in what I say. But if I do not, feel free to ask.
All right.
So, first off, I want to say that this was a very, very enjoyable combat for me. This is I have not had a challenge like this before. Many of the individuals here are not prepared for the pure strength and force of mind that I bring into combat. So I want to say congratulations.
And thank you for the challenge. I do appreciate it, and I've never seen any skills like yours before. So that was also quite the challenge. I've never felt that pain before.
Yes, and I do apologize again, but one who is not used to certain forms of pain will not know how to confront it if they see it once again later on in their lives. So it is a good thing that this has happened to you. It's a learning experience.
Yes, very much.
But I digress. That I have been here for some time, and just, you watch as he seems to kind of begin to like turn inward and kind of thinking about what he wants to say, and doesn't seem sure where to begin. So he kind of looks up and goes, maybe it would be simpler if you do start off, you do ask me questions, and I'm finding it difficult to know where to start.
I think we'll just start at the top. I've only ever heard of gem dragons and gem dragonborns as fairy tales. I've never met a gem dragonborn. I've heard stories, but I didn't know you were actually real.
Oh, I am very real. See? And he just kind of wiggles his fingers. I am very real. Yes, there are reasons for this. And I guess the first thing I will say is I am going to probably say some things to you that you may not be prepared for. And I only ask that you listen with an open mind and an open heart. Because it might be something you are not ready to accept. I am, as I said, a Herald of Sardio. Many do not know who Sardio is. And I will explain who Sardio is, but I am one of many heralds. It is very rare for a dragonborn of my coloring, Ruby, to exist. There are a number of us, but it is still rare within the world. And you may be surprised at this, but there are thriving gem dragonborn communities in Fair. It is just that people don't know they exist. As you say, they hear of them in fairy tales, and sometimes they don't believe what they are seeing. Up until this point, those who have come across our communities, sometimes they leave not remembering who they encountered. Sometimes they only recall dragonborns of chromatic or metallic nature. and never the gem. And there is reason for this. So the Heralds of Sardio, as I said, I am one of them. We are, and this is where it might get a little confusing, so please feel free to ask questions. We are what is considered the voice of Sardior. Every now and then, and it is rare, but occasionally the heralds feel this compulsion to meet. We are not all part of the same community. The heralds are part of all the various communities. But every now and then we feel compelled to meet. And it is in this time when we are together that the voice of Sardior makes his will known. And Sardior wished for us, the last calling was a little over a year ago now. And Sardior's wish was for us to become part of the world again. We don't know why. But when Sardior speaks, we listen. And so the heralds, after our meeting, we discussed how we would do this. How would we reintroduce ourselves into Fern and into the world of Fern and the community at large, the communities at large. And my role in this is I travel to various locations where how you say there is a large concentration of those who follow gods. And my job is to educate on Sardior and why we are now within the world. There are many here who still do not believe that I am Ruby. They think I am simply Red Dragonborn.
If they were to get up close to you, however, they can see that you are definitely Ruby.
Oh, they think it's a what is anomaly, like it is strange, but I am simply just red and I am crazy. But that is why I take part in the fights, because it shows them I am not normal dragon. And my gifts are given to me by Sardior. So
such as the flying, Sardior grants you the levitation.
It is flying. It is the power of my mind grants me the ability to fly. It is not magic like some our arcanists use. It is all here, the power of the mind.
So in relation to Bahamut, where does Sardior lie? I imagine also a dragon god? Is Sardior?
Yes and no. This is where I am. This is where I have run into problems. As I have spoken with a number of clerics and priests of the various gods here within the city. While they have somewhat open minds, what I'm about to tell you, I have told them, and they are not happy with my words. And I also believe it is a reason why many of them are just pushing the narrative that I am crazy, because they do not like the truth. And this is where I'm going to ask you to please keep an open mind. When heralds are born, there is an elegy that we are born with. It is inherent knowledge that we have, and this is the truth of the world. as we do not know how to convey this until we are older. But I will give you the simple version of this. In the beginning, there was only Bahamut and Tiamat, and they are the creators of the world. In this creation, they needed help. And so together, they created Sardio, the first dragon, who is also a god. And much like me, he kind of motions to his ruby scales. Sardior was a ruby dragon. And he assisted in the creation of all dragons, along with Bahamut and Tiamat. And things were good. Until the gods and their followers came. And they came to claim the creations of Bahamut and Tiamat and Sardio. As you would expect, there was battle.
Mm-hmm.
In this battle, Bahamut was struck down. In this battling, they realized that because Bahamut is what Bahamut is, cannot simply destroy Bahamut, and that Bahamut would return. And in this realization, instead of destroying or trying to destroy Tiamat, they imprisoned her. They tortured her. They did unspeakable things to her, the gods, and their followers. And in this time, Sardior hid within the world of creation, so as to continue Bahamut and Tiamat's works without being destroyed. It is within this time that the Dragonborn came into being. For you see, Sardior had already begun the creation of the Dragonborn with Bahamut and Tiamat. Now, when Bahamut returned, he had realized that probably in his estimation, the best way to combat the gods and their followers was to come to an understanding, to teach them of his ways, but also to learn of theirs, so they could work together. However, Tiamat was warped and changed through the many eons of imprisonment and torture until she is what she is now. And when she was strong enough, she broke her chains and she came into the world. And she called upon her children, who she felt could help her wreak vengeance and havoc on those who imprisoned her, those of the chromatic variety. See, she was not what you know her as now. That is not how she began. But the eons of imprisonment and torture shaped her into what she is now. And in this battle of vengeance, the world was sundered. The many different planes that we now know of came into existence. Shattered pieces of Bahamut and Tiamat's creations. And in this battle, Sardior was destroyed. However, in the last final moments of Sardior's life, he gave of himself his own essence, and in doing so, created the Gem Dragonborns. So when I say that I am a herald of Sardior, and when the heralds come together to hear his voice, I mean this literally, because we are part of Sardior, and Sardior is us.
So it's almost like putting back together a broken pottery, almost, when you all get together.
Yes, it is a good description, yes. But those of the clerics and priests of the gods here, they do not like to be reminded that at some point in time their gods tried to destroy Bahamut.
I can see why that would hit nerves.
Yes. And so Sardio, one of Sardior's many thousands of years ago, it was one of his final requests to keep us safe, the Gem Dragonborns, that we keep ourselves hidden. And in doing so, he gave us the powers of the mind that allows us to keep ourselves safe, to protect our people. And which is why, again, I have these unique abilities that you probably have not heard of or seen before. Except in, as you say, fairy tales.
Yes. Now, does this mean the same for dragons as well? Did he create are there actual gem dragons? If there's
Yes.
Gem Dragonborn?
Yes. You see, Sardior, again, as the first child of Bahamut and Tiamat, was given these powers of creation, but could not do it by himself either, the way Bahamut and Tiamat could not do it alone. And therefore, he created the first gem dragons. The first 5, I believe, are his thanes. And they assisted him in creation of not only additional dragons, gem, chromatic, and metallic as well, but also in the Dragonborn.
Now, are there only ruby dragons and ruby dragonborn, or are there multiple kinds?
Oh, no. As I said, the rubies, we are the rarest.
Mm-hmm.
But we have crystal, there's sapphire, there is, as he kind of thinks it over, meaning I actually looked through my notes. Where are they? Where is it? We have crystal, sapphire, amethyst, emerald, and topaz. And those are also his thanes are gem dragons. And as far as I know, they still exist in the world. No one knows exactly where they all are.
I imagine along the lines of the Dragonborn, they're probably also very reclusive.
If one is to believe that Sardior wished for the Dragonborn to be protected, one must also believe he felt the same way of the dragons as well. I know this is a lot.
It is quite a bit of information. A lot of stuff I'm going to have to come to terms with. It's going to be a lot of thinking and communing with Bahamut on this one.
He kind of looks at you. I said something to you during our fight that you will do. And I wish for you to understand my meaning of this. Part of this is part of coming out into the world and educating those on Sardio and the truth of the world. He's also finding those Dragonborn who are worthy enough to receive some of that power. Do you see every Dragonborn other than the Gem Dragonborns have a potential that they have not fulfilled yet, yourself included?
I don't know if I follow.
So you see the powers of my mind,
Mhm.
the abilities that I contain. While you could not do all of the things that I could do because I am a herald, there are some things that you have the ability to do, but these abilities need to be unlocked. The only way to unlock these abilities, however, is firstly for you to truly come to terms in your heart and your mind that what I am telling you is truth.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly you will have to find, if at all possible, a Thane. If you can find one of the Thanes, they are also able to help you unlock some of that potential. And I see worthiness in you. I see that you are not just simply a follower of Bahamut. You are a child of Bahamut. And
She like beams very proudly at this.
and there is a difference. Not many understand this difference. And you have Bahamut's strength in you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will also say this. If you need something to help you come to terms with these truths, I can assist you, but it will not be simple.
I will accept any assistance that you're willing to give.
It could be dangerous.
That is fine.
Very well. If you can give me a day to prepare all of the materials, you and I can go and speak to Bahamut.
That would be perfect.
All right, very well. If you if you give me a day, you can come find me in my kitchen. And
the one up here or the one down there?
Downstairs. That is my kitchen.
All right.
You can come downstairs, and you may bring your friends if you wish. But I will prepare the ceremony. But I have to warn you. My mind is prepared for the immensity of Bahamut, because I have been doing this most of my life. I speak to Sardior every day. When the heralds came together, it is part of who we are to be able to withstand the immensity of Sardior's voice. You may not be fully prepared, which is why I will help guide you. But at the end of the day, it will all be on you.
In the past, I have spoken bits and pieces with Bahamut. The closest I have been to him, I was near death and he had brought me back. And I've spoken to him then. But that is the closest I've been to him.
That might just be the edge that you need. Very good. Do you have any other questions for me before I retire for the evening or to prepare?
Oh, I do have quite a few other questions, but I think I'm going to think on what we've talked about this evening, and then a discussion later I think will be needed. We will be here for probably quite a little while, if you're willing to sit down and speak more later.
I am at your disposal.
Thank you, Kirad, and thank you for that glorious battle.
You are very welcome. Until we meet soon. Just
Thank
kind of bows to you and begins to kind of float back down the stairs.
Whew.
Well,
Did you hear any of that, Drovar?
shiny rubies.
Gonna pat him on the back, like, close enough.
All right, Gorple. You said you're making your way back to your room?
Yeah, because he's still mad about that hand, so he's still not over that, and he can't talk to that guy, or else he might try to kill him. So he's gonna head upstairs, and he's gonna take his like big sack of money, and he's like, you know what? I have a cool idea. And so he's gonna go over to the eggs, and I'm gonna pour the money around the dragon eggs like a small hoard.
Okay.
And like 500 gold kind of like placed around the crevices and the like bottom of the egg, and then he's just gonna kind of like sit there and meditate / rest, because like he's also out of spells, but he's just like, I gotta get calm. Also, and he'll pull out Groin Seeker,
Mm-hmm.
and like put it in front of him as he's sitting, and he's like, all right, I think we gotta talk.
Oh, fuck. You just keep putting me in that goddamn bag. Shit. Are you gonna fucking use me? We're gonna kill some fucking orcs? Or what?
We're unfortunately waiting right now. Okay. This is what we gotta talk about. You really hate orcs, and I get that. But there are so many other things to hate. There are so many other threats that we have faced. You were there when you saw Bocha get slaughtered by those kobolds, when we're hunting these dragon cults.
Right.
Is there any way in your who or what you are to like focus your hate not just on orcs? Like swearing oaths. You're a dwarf, or at least were. Can't you just swear vengeance on like? Can't we focus this on not just orcs? It seems like you're limiting your own potential. And as a hunter, I think we need to grow together.
So, my full name is Groin Seeker the Orc Bane. Not the Kobold Bane, not the Cultist Bane, not the Shit Bane, the Orc Bane. So, I agree with you. There's plenty out there that needs killing. And I'm very happy to help you kill it. But if you see an orc, and then you see a kobold, or a cultist, or whatever the fuck, we're killing the orc first. If it's got orc blood, we're killing it first. If it even thinks that it likes orcs, we're killing it first. Cause that's what I do. I'm not a freaking dwarf. I'm a fucking bull of orc vengeance.
And I think you're too limited. You don't want to go back in that quiver? We're going to change the way you work. Do you understand me?
I think we understand each other.
You want to hunt orcs, but not all orcs are bad. Not all people are bad. You're a bow. You're right. You're not a dwarf. So that means you're just a tool and a weapon for when we hunt things. Bows are meant to be hunting multiple things, not just orcs. You are limiting your own potential. You're limiting my potential. I want to hunt, but I want something that wants to work with me and not trying to work against me. What, you've tried to take me twice? I think one time you almost made me fight Drovar. He's our ally. He is a dwarf, like your creator. Do you think that's okay?
He likes fucking orcs.
That doesn't matter. You're an orc bane, but not all orcs are bad. I'm okay with killing bad orcs, but there's more to than just looking at them at their skin because they look that way that they're an orc. Like, that's not a good enough reason. Listen, if you no longer want to be my bow, that's fine. We can find you someone who wants to hunt orcs worse than I. Or I can promise you bigger and better targets to hunt to actually show you proof so that you can grow as a legend and you can be used forever and passed down. I'm going to die in like 40 years if I live my natural life. You're going to find new masters and new hosts and new people who want to hunt so much more. And I guess maybe orcs. But I think there's a lot more potential for you. And I think that you were stuck in that cave for a really long time. And I think it drove you a little crazy, buddy. You got to change the way you think, or else I might be your last user when I get killed because you choose not to work or you choose to take me over and we do something stupid. We do something tactically wrong that gets everyone else hurt. I've already lost one friend because we did something tactically wrong. I'm not losing another. And if you can't work with that, I don't know what we're going to do.
Make a persuasion check for me, please.
Natural one. But anyone want me to use a group inspiration? Sure, I'll try it.
Okay.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Wow, just one end of the spectrum to the other. Okay. There's a silence, a good long silence. And while holding Groin Seeker, you can actually feel the vines that are kind of like twisted into the bow shape, which are made of wood. You can feel them writhing. And after this long moment passes, you eventually do hear Groin Seeker.
Use me. We'll fight. We'll kill. Whatever you think needs killing. We'll kill things one day at a time. And we'll see what happens from there.
I appreciate you taking that into consideration. Maybe I'll go find something to shoot.
That would be nice.
And then Groin Seeker goes quiet.
Okay, I will strap him to my back.
Okay.
Opposed to putting it back in the quiver.
Okay.
And then I will kind of, because like that's just like him channeling his anger into this. He's just like, I've had enough. I'm done. And I'll just kind of sit with my back against these eggs.
Okay. Make a perception check for me, please.
18.
18. So as you finish this conversation, you kind of put your back to the eggs with the gold kind of surrounding them and in the crevices between them. The handprints, your handprints, are still on the eggs, slightly glowing. They are mostly white. The very tops have that kind of black scalish. It doesn't seem to have gotten any better or worse since the last time you saw them. But you do feel one of the eggs kind of nudge slightly, like something kicked.
I'll kind of like listen up to it, press my hand to it.
Kind of press your hand next to it, up to it, and you hear. And then eventually, it kind of, you feel the egg jostle again slightly.
I mean, I guess, like, do I know much about lizard eggs, or how is this a thing that
you would know? This is similar to like this is a positive thing. Like obviously, whatever is inside the egg, clearly some kind of dragon, is moving around inside of this egg. That's positive. You've always known that to be a positive sign when it comes to any kind of creatures in it.
All right. So yeah, I guess I'll just kind of stay up here and sit here, leaning against it, and I'll begin kind of like, I don't know, singing like maybe a light like grung song with like throat singing. Just kind of, and I'm just gonna chill by myself for the next few hours.
Okay. While you begin kind of channeling that and kind of singing slightly, you hear kind of in the corner, ribbit, and you turn, and sitting on one of the beds, on like the very edge of one of the beds, is a frog. It's just staring at you, and as you're kind of throat singing, it's somewhat matching your throat singing, but just with its ribbiting.
I'll quickly cast Speak with Animals. Okay. And I go, hello?
Hey, buddy.
Are you from around here?
Yes and no.
What's that mean?
I'm here, but I'm not from here.
Did you come out of this? And I point to the broken gem.
Oh, you're a smart one, aren't you?
Shit. I kind of look around to see if there's any like weird growths in the corners of the rooms.
You don't see anything. You just see the frog.
Does the frog look spotted?
No. It is a green, unnaturally green frog, but it seems like a normal frog other than its kind of very bright color.
And it also seems much smarter than a frog should be. Can I ask who you are?
Yeah, name's Eddie.
All right, Eddie. Well, you obviously are not just a normal frog.
Yeah, that's 2 for 2.
Great. Can I help you?
No, but I can help you.
I believe that, but I don't know what to ask.
Well, I can't just give you the answers. It's unfortunately kind of my thing. Yeah, well, put it to you this way. Your friend's fine. Not happy, but he's fine. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got the context clues, thanks.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have to be real careful about what you're doing, because the Peacemaker doesn't like it.
Well, I imagine it has to be stopped.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no stopping him. There's no stopping him. Just be careful. I'll put it to you this way. Whatever you do, don't make it into an attack. You'll regret it. You get me?
Yes. I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
As you're kind of like, maybe, I don't know, you watch as this frog is starting to become translucent. Well, I guess that's my time. I'll see you around, I guess.
All right. Before you go, is there a way we can free our friend without fighting this guy?
Maybe. And as he says, maybe, just kind of fades and disappears.
Fuck. I just kind of lean back on the shaking egg. Just like, I'm just a small frog in a big city. This sucks.
Make an Arcana check at disadvantage for me, since you are such a big fan of magic.
I also somehow closed my character sheet in the middle of that interaction.
Nice.
7. Big 7.
Big 7. Yeah, this is magic frog. Fucking magic, man.
All right. Yeah, no. And then I'll just kind of take the time until my friends come to bed, and I'll kind of let them know what's up when they actually get back up here.
Okay. Yeah, you eventually all do regroup in your room at various points during the early evening.
Figure. Amal is escorting Drovar up the stairs. You hear him. It's like, when she charges at you, get out of the way, 'cause her horns are sharp and will wreck your day.
Will you please let me just pick you up so we're not stumbling up the stairs together?
No, I'll have you know. Look, I got these boots. Watch this. And he just jumps up a whole flight of stairs.
Not well drunk, Drovar. You're going to hit your head on the ceiling.
Yep.
Drovar, I need you to make a dexterity check at disadvantage.
You got it.
Because this is going to be fun, I hope. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was a natural 1.
Okay.
With the disadvantage, because the other was a 16, so that comes to a whopping 2.
Yeah. So yeah. So Mamala, you watch Drovar boing, like just bounce up the stairs, face plants on the stairs, and begins sliding all the way back down the stairs, right to your feet.
I'm gonna pick him up and just carry him up the stairs.
Yeah,
I'm done with this.
Fully asleep at the bottom.
Like, so yeah, eventually you get him up the stairs. As you can, eventually you get him up the stairs. Gorple fills you in on his frog thing.
Yeah, frog stuff. Also, this egg is moving, which is pretty cool. And also we got discounts at that magic guy's shop, and he has a secret stash, and he wants to meet you, champions. So
Perfect.
when we wake up tomorrow, might be something we want to check out.
Yeah, I'm down the.
Also, I had a really good conversation with Groin Seeker. We are seeing more eye to eye now.
Perfect.
All right.
I have a conversation to tell you about, but I'm going to sleep, and I'll tell you in the morning.
Just wondering how you can have an eye to eye with a bow. It doesn't have eyes. He's out.
I fire an arrow right near him, just so that Groin Seeker knows that I respect him, but I'm not going to hurt my friend.
Okay. Yeah, without an issue. Right by his foot.
He'll
Is
wake up.
Basha back?
He'll wake up to that.
I was gonna say, does Basha come back? I don't know.
I don't know. Does Basha come back?
If she makes an interlude towards, if she would he go for it or not? Because she doesn't want to rush him either, and he's super awkward. So, is he going to be super polite and gentlemanly? Because she'll just go home, or she'll just go back with the rest of the group. She won't push him.
I'll put it to you this way. He's not going to say no to anything that you request, but he will not request anything.
No, right. He's not going to make the first move. I figure she at least kisses him. Let's say that.
Okay.
But she'll come back. She'll come back at the end of the evening session.
Okay. Fair enough. As you all kind of like are in various stages of either in bed, getting ready for bed, what have you, Basha kind of like slinks in while some of you are like on the verge of like getting ready to go to sleep. She, gets ready for bed. She gets into bed, and just as most of you are kind of like on that brink of getting ready to sleep.
Oh God.
I'm up.
Heavy knocking on the door.
I'm up.
I'm awake.
Oh yeah, what now?
Yes.
All right, what do you want?
You hear Thothus. I'm so sorry, but Master Froome is requesting that you come down to his office immediately. He says it's important.
All right, hold on. Hey, Drovar, could you look at me? I got something for you. Geyser!
Well, what do you?
Oh my
Right.
God!
Thanks, I needed that. All right.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah, now that your bed
wrings
is
out his beard.
soaked. Yeah, now that your bed is soaked.
Thothus, do we have to put our armor and stuff back on? Do you think?
I don't think there's going to be fighting. He says that who you're waiting for is here.
Oh.
Yeah, we should.
Oh. All right.
Wrap my robes around myself. Let's go.
All right. So you hear, as you kind of like agree, you open the door and Thothus is not there anymore. Like he kind of left, hoping that you would all just come downstairs. So you kind of throw on whatever you're going to throw on. You make your way down the stairs. It's pretty empty. There are like a few dozen people kind of milling about. Some of them drinking, some of them reading, some of them arm wrestling and shit. But you kind of walk past them to Froome's office, and Thothus is actually at the door, like standing in front of the door, sees you, and immediately opens the door for all of you. You walk in, and you see Froome sitting at his desk, but sitting right next to him is Leosin. Still kind of bandaged slightly, but does look a little better. Is just kind of sitting there, looks exhausted. But is just kind of sitting there, and as you all walk in, just kind of looks up and like, and just kind of motions to you. As the last of you enter the office, Thothus nods to you, Froome, and then just kind of closes the door behind him. Oh, good, you're here. Excellent. Yes, so it's good to see all of you. Where you have a new person. Where's your friend, the big one?
He was killed in the cave.
I'm very sorry.
Well, Tiamat tried to take his soul, but we got it for now.
I don't understand, but good.
For now, apparently.
Well, let's start at the beginning here. We're getting,
All right.
Let's just tell him everything.
All right. As you're kind of standing there, you can see that Froome's face wears a very serious expression, unlike its usual, open countenance.
Before this starts, we are going to take a journey together, a journey of truth. I have opened my domicile to you. I have put trust in you, and now I ask that you join me and Froome gestures at Leosin on this journey together. There are things that I've known since you've arrived that I have not shared with you. But that time is at an end. And again, Froome seems like there's clearly been a conversation between Froome and Leosin. But before we begin, and Froome stands up, he goes over to the door, and he takes that gauntlet that you see him wearing constantly, and he rests it against the door. His eyes close for a moment, and there's a low muttering. Sounds like it's in Dwarven. And after a few moments, a silver line of power encircles the room. Basha, I'm going to say, being very magically inclined, this very much looks like a magical circle. Clearly a more divine-oriented magical circle, as opposed to an arcane one. But you see a clearly glowing silver line surround you. And, you know that magical circles give protections against creatures from other planes, undead, aberrations, things like that. But you can definitely tell he's taking a more protective stance than he might normally, especially even in his own home. He then goes sits down next to Leosin once again. Right. So, you came to me because of the dragon, the cult of the dragon. And Leosin and myself, this is not the first time we've dealt with their kind. Some years ago, God, what is it, 15 now?
At the very least, yes.
The cult had been making noise, making trouble for people in the region. They had been gathering bones, ancient dragon bones. They had thought to revive a dragon, create something called a Draco Lich. And you can see Froome kind of looks away with some memory that he's clearly working through.
It's just I apologize just to interject. The cult that's actually up until recently, that is actually what the cult mainly did. Just for you, so for your all of your understanding. That was the thing. They believed that Dracoliches were the way to gain power.
Aye. We were lucky though. Me, Leosin, a few others. We kind of caught on to their plans before they were able to do anything too serious. For the most part, it was a lot of tracking and not too intense until our final meeting with them. They were doing a ritual. They were attempting to revive the thing, and me and Leosin, well, we denied them. Through force of will and, well, force. And that's honestly where me and Leosin here had met. We didn't know each other, but we enjoyed working together. And Leosin, at one point, I hadn't counted on all of the cultists being armed, as foolish as I was. And Leosin saved my life.
And again, full disclosure, the reason why I have been on track with the cult is because their tactics have changed. While in the past you knew exactly what it was that they wanted to do. They were collecting bones. They were trying to create these Dracoliches. This is what they were about. And something has changed. Which is why I was at Candlekeep. Which is why I was consulting with the scholars there. Not only gathering information from them as much as I could, but also sharing information with them. Because they too were very as confused as I that their modus operandi has changed, and we don't know why. Which is why where you found me, trying to gather more information. Please tell me what is it that you have found since last we spoke. And we don't have to role play it if you don't want to. You can just kind of like, bleh.
I think the basic gist, though, is that as far as we know, the cult is trying to bring Tiamat here with a giant treasure hoard. Is that essentially...
That's a gist that you think that you've gotten,
Yeah.
And all
Yeah,
the locations we know they're going and stuff.
Yeah, but there's no mention whatsoever of anything about Draco liches or any like collecting of bones. So yeah, they're definitely doing something weird, but it seems to be pointing to they're trying to summon her here in some way.
And of course the eggs. I imagine we'll talk about the eggs.
Yeah, okay.
You tell them about the eggs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That there's 3 black dragon eggs.
Froome seems to nod to Leosin, as in clearly he's mentioned it already, but is happy that you guys are kind of being forthright.
Oh yeah, one started moving today.
Oh.
It's not hatching, is it?
I don't think
Well,
so.
I think we've like neutralized its evil. Just it's a long story. Tell them about how the colors changed.
Blah, blah, blah,
But last time I checked...
So bless you. So what he meant was...
Grung is amazingly good at getting a lot of information across very fast.
Yes. It's a Grung thing.
And then also, just the colors are changing. There's only 2 of them now. And last time I checked, it was going to be about 3 years until they hatch. So...
Well, if you recall, I think it was anywhere between 8 months to 3 years. It's like this very like wild time. It could be 3 years, but it could be a couple months. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on the far side of that.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
We're fine. We've got the ears.
So as you kind of tell Leosin all of these things, he's just kind of nodding. And he does have like a piece of parchment in front of him that he is just consistently writing. And after a moment, he just kind of like looks and he just like he closes his eyes and he just kind of holds the bridge of his nose and he's like, all right. Onthar and I have a lot to discuss this evening, and you've given us a lot to go over. So clearly we roused you from bed. Just go back and get your rest. We'll talk in the morning about what plans should be.
I thought I owed you the truth, as you've been truthful up till now, and I think that I've taken the measure of your character, of your ken, and I hope you're the right people for the job. But Leosin's right. Rest first.
I have some eggs to sing a lullaby to, so thank you.
And also, Leosin, is there a chance that we might need to go back to Candlekeep? Because we have something that might help us in this cause that we need to research there.
I have a letter of introduction now, I think.
I do too, but it's already sent. Yeah, I have a buddy in Neverwinter. He's my good pal. But there might be like an artifact of power of Bahamut that we need to locate the rest of the map, and apparently Candlekeep is where we need to go to figure out it. Eventually, if it's somehow related to what we're doing.
Let Onthar and I converse this evening. And tomorrow when we discuss plans, I'll keep Candlekeep in mind. Candlekeep is absolutely an amazing resource. And if you're going to be fighting this cult and whatever dragons they might have assisting them, say Tiamat herself tried to abduct your friend?
Yes, her claw came out of hell and tried to grab him and his soul.
We're going to need all the help we can get, so that might actually be a good idea. So let's confer in the morning. Onthar, you and I will burn the midnight oil, as it were.
Oh, indeed.
All right.
Is
Listen, just so you know, Gwarple, if you continue down this path that has clearly already been taken up by at least some of you, there are friends that we have in Candlekeep, and Anthar taps his Order of Gauntlet pin. So just know, if you continue down this path, you're not going to be alone. You got support.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, do you have anything else, Gorpal?
Oh, I look. Is the Squire Theosin like outside?
Athathus? Yeah, he's on the other side of the door.
Oh, okay. I just want to tell him something on our way up.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, no problem. So Leosin just kind of like nods that, well, get your rest. You're going to need it. We're going to have a very busy planning session tomorrow. Have a good evening.
You as well.
Right.
Glad you made it in safe.
You're looking better.
I'm feeling better, thank you. And then you begin to kind of leave, and Thothus is right outside.
Hey, we're gonna need fresh pillows and blankets for Drovar's bed. There was an accident. And I'll just
no worries. I'll make sure they're brought right up.
Thank you.
As we're going upstairs, Amal's gonna be like, "Oh, so that conversation we'd have in the morning. I'm wide awake now. If all of you want to hear it."
Yes, I must sing a lullaby to the eggs anyway, so I'm up.
So as we're going up, he leans over to Amal. It's like, so Tiamat's in hell?
One of the hells.
Huh. I know some folks who might have a map.
Is that correct there, though, DM?
You're guessing. You're
All right,
not.
cool.
You're not 100% sure, because when you saw the claw come out and reach for Bocek with your roll, you didn't get a high roll, but you got a roll enough that definitely you saw that there was some kind of like hellscape behind the. But you don't know like if it was a hell, if it was a different plane. You're not sure, but it was a hell-like.
So hellscape hell, yeah.
Seems fair.
I know some folks who seem to take great delight in going through portals when they don't know where they go. They might have some information that we could. I got an in with them.
It's awfully convenient. That's great.
Very cool. And Amala will tell them all the story of the conversation that she had with
Kirad.
Kirad, there we
Yeah, and that's also why I don't like the gods either. He made a great point about that. They're kind of the worst.
I mean, Bahamut is pretty great. Not
Yeah, Soon is also great. Just saying.
Are you really going to a paladin about their god, Gorbo?
Listen. If you want to extrapolate the point that Bahamut created the world, and I believe in nature, so therefore Bahamut's good, you can believe that all you want.
It's all right.
I'm also not very good at being what I do, so I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it.
My want, after most of the heavy stuff is taken care of, I would like to go looking for a gem dragon if you would all like to go.
Ooh.
So these things that you thought were a myth yesterday
are real.
You believe in now.
Are real. Because you met one very strange dragonborn who tried to think you to death.
He is an actual ruby dragonborn.
Okay. And okay.
Plus, we had the shield now. We had that sapphire dragon scale that Basha confirmed is an actual sapphire dragon scale.
That is true. That is true. I'll go with that. So, okay, so he shows up. It just the coincidence. All this is getting a little.
Yeah.
I mean, the gods work in mysterious ways, Strovar.
Yeah, and Bako's family's from Candlekeep, and his grandfather's gonna write me a letter to get in. Like, I mean, it's just like great.
How good was that date?
She chokes on whatever she's drinking.
Corporal's just staring. I don't know the answer. I'm trying to anticipate what you're about to say, but by your response, I think I'm choosing wrongly.
Okay, so did Amala talk about like the test that this guy that the Ruby Dragonborn wants
Oh
to
yeah,
do?
she will tell them everything.
Okay, so Drovar is just sitting there. He's changing the sheets on the bed to dry ones and giving.
Oh
them
no,
to
no,
the squire.
two individuals have come in. They're kind of like very like they don't know why the sheets are soaked, so they're just kind of like holding them up, but they're changing them while you're all talking. Like they're just like.
Okay, so it's just like, all right. All I'm saying is, this guy you had a massive fight with, who put giant knives in your head, suddenly has this plan and has told you stuff you've never heard before. You believe it, and you want to undertake some sort of ritual to talk to your god when you pretty much have a direct line to talk to him anyway, right?
I pray to him a lot. I don't get a lot of. I'm trying to explain, think of how to explain this. So mainly when I convene with him, I get feelings. I don't talk to him like how we're talking.
Right.
So it's a lot of just him sending me. I don't really know how to explain it, Drovar. I apologize.
That's fine.
But this would be a more direct way of speaking to him.
Did you get any of those sort of feelings when the Ruby guy was talking that said yes or no, or nothing?
I have not yet communed with Bahamut on this yet. It's a lot to process, Drovar. I'm still processing this.
I'm just suggesting we've encountered a lot of strange stuff, and the cult knows we're out here. Not saying that this guy has been sitting here waiting for us and it's an evil trap or something like that. It's just, it seems a big ask to just dive right into something like that when he's, you're not even sure where he comes from, telling you ancient lore that none of us have ever heard of before. And they look over at Basha. Heard any of this?
Have I?
Make a history check for me.
24, natural 20.
24. The history that you've learned in school was that the gods created Farron. Bahamut was part of it, but you've never heard anything about that Bahamut and Tiamat were the ones that created the world and that the gods took it over from.
Yeah, I'll explain that. I've never heard of it. It doesn't mean that it can't be right, I guess, if it's even older information than what we know, but it's unknown to me.
Right. And so I'm saying, well, I think if you're gonna, you've talked with Bahamut before, you've gotten good senses to stick with us, so far, and to do this and that. I think you definitely want to try to have one of those communions before you engage in any rituals with this floating
I
red
agree.
guy.
Yeah.
So the reason I am actually here, as you all hopefully know by this point, I came from Silvery Moon, very, very far up north. I received a vision from Bahamut to come here, and I believe it was his will that I came across you all, and I believe it is now his will that I've come across this Ruby Dragonborn. I believe this is a next step into the growth of my own power and the growth of our knowledge when it comes to dealing with Tiamat and her followers.
Okay.
And that is perfectly reasonable, but because you have the advantage of being able to talk to your god, I would still ask.
Right.
Oh, I'm still going to speak with him, but...
Right. The one thing I'm going to point out is he said his story is that he comes from both of those deities. Somehow they work together, which means, and we've seen the hand of that thing and what it did to Bocek. There's not just one deity moving us around on the board here. And you don't know where this red guy's getting his moves from. It may not be Bahamut's hand pushing him closer to us. It could be somebody else, even if he doesn't know it. So,
Vincent,
get your second opinion from your deity first.
Vincent has been quiet and sitting on the bed, and just kind of looks and says, "Drovar's right. Tiamat is evil. I'm going to suck her power away. She did not do any of that. She is evil."
Tiamat is evil. And from his version of the story is she was made that way by other gods.
Don't care. Want her power.
I know, Vincent. This is why I'm still not a huge fan of you. Anyway,
but it is good to see he's feeling better after earlier today. Okay, I should finish.
I'm a huge fan of you.
He's immediately quiet again, but just listening to everybody.
All right,
he picks up like 3 tankards and says, "Gorp, that geyser thing, can you make it come out much more slowly? You just fill these with water."
Yeah. Boop, boop, boop.
I know, not as exciting, but I need the water.
I'll drink it too.
All right. Well, I do appreciate your concern. I do. I am also a little bit wary. This is all very new for me, such as you pointed out. Up until yesterday, I thought these guys were fairy tales, but there's one in front of me, so...
Right. We got your back, Les. You know that. But
that is why you're all coming with me as this happens. I'm not going alone.
All right.
And I think a little bit to add on to, like, backing up Drovar and everyone else's point, and yours, which is, there's a story this guy told you. There's a story that you believe from Bahamut, and there's also something else that is not biased by anyone. So we kind of need to figure out, all of these might somehow have parts of truth, but they may not all be true.
But maybe together they all create the full story. So yes, I agree.
Yes, often the truth is the space between two different stories, so it'll be interesting to see with all of these what it really is.
I once heard a crazy story that there was this one big dragon that was cut in half, and that's how Bahamut and Tiamat were created. So I don't know what's true.
Whoa. What?
Well, if you will excuse me, I'm going to do some of my meditation and prayers.
I'm going to talk to the eggs and say goodnight, and then I have to talk to my book because I need to make sure my book's okay.
Are you okay?
That is the weirdest thing I heard anybody say. I think I gotta find out if my book is okay.
That's a real bookworm right there. Book,
yeah.
Are you okay? I'm actually gonna put 2 second level spell slots into infusing the eggs with magic again and singing lullabies to them softly and gently petting them.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything before heading to bed? Okay. So Basha, roll me an Arcana check, please.
$20, not natural.
Okay. You feel the arcane energy, and not any specific type of energy, just a general fusing of just general magics, and you just kind of infuse both eggs. And as you do, you watch as Gorpal's handprints begin to pulse just a little faster. The glow that they're giving off, which is kind of a light green color, intensifies slightly. And it just kind of almost like a heartbeat. You just watch the hands just
neat.
But other than that, there doesn't seem to be any change. But you do also all notice that there is 500 gold pieces just underneath the eggs, around the eggs, just right out there.
Gorpal, did you do this, or did they just appear like this? What happened?
Did you just roll around in the money with them?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I did do that a little bit, but I figured, if we want to put them in a habitat where they're going to hatch dragons like Treasure and Horge, and so we want a ton of fucking money. So I just put 500 gold in their pile. I mean, I'll probably take it back with me when we leave tomorrow to go shopping, but I figured it's a nice way, overnight. I don't know how this works. I'm winging it. I said this already.
I don't know either, but I take a ruby out of my bag and put it on top of one of the piles of coins right next to the egg. There you go, a nice ruby for you. There you go.
Okay.
But I figured, maybe if we give them some money as part of their hoard, they won't aggressively attack people for money, because they know...
Maybe we should teach them to hoard something else, like coffee. And then you will have coffee all the time.
Yes, we should. Yes.
I think we'll stick with money, Basha. We're gonna stick with money.
Money? Okay, yeah, you know
We're
what?
gonna stick
Money's
with money,
better,
Ward.
because then
But
we'll
think
always
about
have
all
money.
the things we could do with coffee. You can't do anything with money.
What?
No, Gorple, no.
No, Gorple.
No.
And with that, you all begin to rest for the evening once again. This time, Drovar in dry sheets, as your soaked sheets have been taken away and replaced. But the rest of you are able to all get various amounts of rest. And that is where we're going to take our break.
Oh,
Sweet.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, everybody. We'll be back shortly, and we will see what happens when we get back. So stick with us. We'll be right back. And we are back. Alrighty. So, you all are rested. You all take an evening's rest. I know Amala, you wanted to do some prayers before you actually went to bed.
Yes.
Okay. Make a wisdom check for me, please.
A wisdom check.
So D20 and your wisdom modifier.
Can I use a inspiration, please? Cool. A little bit better, but not by much. That's only an 8.
An 8. Okay.
Better than a 3.
Mm-hmm. Just so everybody is aware, you have one more player inspiration. I've got 3 DM inspirations. You guys are terrible. All right. So, you kind of try to meditate for your evening prayers before you actually go to bed. You don't feel that connection like you normally do with Bahamut, and you're not sure if it's just like you're so exhausted from the fight, and you did take some mental damage, during that fight as well, and you're feeling much better, but your head is still ringing slightly. So you figure that it's just harder for you to concentrate. Probably after a good night's rest, you'll be better.
All right. After a failed attempt, I'm just going to go to bed.
Okay. You all get the benefits of a long rest. And just as a reminder, like every place has blackout curtains. Like you are in a place of perpetual day. So thankfully, while you do have this large circular window in your room, there are blackout curtains, and you're able to basically simulate the evening without any issues. You wake in 8 hours later in the morning. Long rest. You can smell what smells like breakfast foods coming from downstairs in the day room, which is that large room that you kind of walk through to get to Froom's office. You all begin to prepare for the morning. Is there anything that you want to do before kind of like getting on with your day?
Eating a shit ton of breakfast foods. Shoving it in my gullet.
I'll gather my money back up for spending purposes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tuck my ruby away again. Like, okay, this is for later.
Okay.
Hey, Gorp, did you count the money before you put it down there? Do you still have the exact coinage?
You do.
I mean, I don't know. They like it so much they just suck it through the shell or something.
No.
Can you imagine if they let? Oh yeah, that too.
That's what I just. Hey, look, we're figuring this out as we go. I'm just wondering.
I don't know. The money feels about as heavy. I'm not counting 500 pieces of gold, but it feels about the same.
1, 2.
We're gonna go get breakfast. You
No,
just
don't
keep
worry.
counting.
Don't worry. I'll get my accountant. Teague, can you count this gold for me? Yeah, I just put one of those. I put a visor on him, and we just.
I was just thinking about the green visor. He just
Perfect.
As you're all leaving, you just hear, and then just like the tinkle of coins as they're hitting the pouch in the inside.
We just scoop it all up and we go downstairs.
So you all make your way downstairs, and there's just bowls of very simple breakfast foods, along with pitchers of various drinks, including coffee. There's some orange juice, water. There's a breakfast ale, breakfast beers. But as you're kind of collecting some of this food, and you can now see most of the people who stay here, they're kind of like grabbing food and then leaving immediately to go out for morning training. But as you are kind of downstairs grabbing the food, you can see Thothis standing by Froom's door, looking very, very tired. And Thothis sees all of you. They are ready whenever you are. Please head in when you're ready.
Did you get food and breakfast yet, buddy? Have you been standing here this whole time?
I've eaten. Thank you.
All right.
Look like heavy bags under the eyes. Clearly thought this has been here all night.
I mean, I can leave Teague outside to guard the door if you want to take a rest.
Oh, no, I appreciate that, but this is my post. Thank you.
Do you want a coffee at least?
I've had 3 cups. Thank you.
You don't look like you've had 3 cups.
I was a lot worse before the 3 cups.
All right.
So Thothis opens the door for all of you. You begin to file in, and you see a similarly exhausted Leosin and Onthar. There are what look like a number of wine bottles, empty, that are kind of strewn about the desk. And you also see a steaming hot pitcher of what you can smell is clearly coffee. And they are just kind of sitting there. Leosin has actually got his head resting against a wall and has his eyes lightly closed. But you can see like a huge map on the table, and there are daggers stuck in all 4 corners of this map to keep it out. The bottles of wine are to the side of it, and as you walk in, that's what you see. Leosin like very slightly opens his eyes, and he looks pretty fresh. Onthar, on the other hand, looks a little weary. I mean, still kind of still a bulwark of a dwarf, but they definitely, as Leosin put it, burned the midnight oil.
Yeah, Anthar's definitely putting on a stoic face, but the bags under his eyes are unmistakable.
Yeah. So you all file in at this point. Oh, excellent! You're here. Good.
Yep.
Come.
Ooh, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Aye. Morning to you. Coffee? And you see this mug that is way oversized than your typical mug, and it just says property of Froome on it, and he just pours like a quarter of the pitcher of coffee into it and sets it sort of in your direction and just starts sipping away, black as night.
Yeah. You watch as Leosin kind of like just dips into his pouch, pulls out this very, very small, it's like this small brown bead, and just kind of just pops it into his mouth. All right, we should get started.
Aye.
All right, so kind of work around, kind of looking, sitting around this map on the desk, and Leosin's just like, all right, so given the information, you gave us some really good information last evening. Onthar and I have kind of been putting our heads together, trying to figure out what next steps should be, next courses of actions, and we have some suggestions. Onthar?
Aye. So we have ways of communicating with other members of our respective organizations. I'll also let you know that we have people in Candlekeep looking into this, and we have people in the Emerald Enclave looking into this as well. So I want you to know, while we had kind of gotten whiffs of this thing, now that you've brought it to our attention, wheels have begun to move. But to the matter at hand. Aye, right, Leosin. And Froome kind of taps the map, and you see one line, and there's this road, and it says Coastal Way Road, and it kind of runs west, then north. And it's been highlighted. The daggers are at several points along this one big road, and he kind of taps it, and he goes, "So we've tracked the cult to this road. From what we know, there's a caravan that they've joined up with. How they've hid themselves, how they gained entry, we don't know. We just know that they're part of this thing."
And Leosin kind of puts his hand up, says, well, I think we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. See,
oh, right.
Yeah, So, from the information you gathered, that they're on their way to Baldur's Gate. I mean, you can see we spent most of the evening trying to calculate like how long it take them from where you found them, from their camp, and the where you found the severed hand with the note. That actually was helpful. We can see that they are, as Froome was saying, they are taking the coastal way road. It's the only place they can go to get to Baldur's Gate.
I was getting there. The point being is when they turn north, and he kind of points, tracing down the road, and you see it curves north, and there's a dagger right in the spot where Baldur's Gate would be on a map. Now we know this caravan's passing through here. The thing we can't decide on between the two of us is how much time you have. Or we know kind of when they left, we don't know when they're going to be there, but we know the caravan has to pass through here.
Yeah, see, it's too dangerous, considering that they are, according to the note that you found, they are going to Baldur's Gate. They're not going to come back the way they came. I mean, that just would make no sense. Clearly they got what they wanted out of Greenest and the other places that they've hit. The only other course of action, and please, Froome, interrupt me if you think I'm getting this wrong, but the only other course of action that I can foresee, and that we've been discussing most of the evening, is they have to leave from Baldur's Gate and they're going to head north. It is a dangerous, dangerous path to leave from Baldur's Gate to head north. They have to go through the Mere of Dead Men. Normally what happens is they would join or create their own caravan. You have to, for the numbers are what keeps you safe going through the Mere.
Aye.
All right, quick question here before we get on. Which group are we talking about? Because there was the group that teleported out, right? And they had the money.
We're talking about the ones that apparently, according to the note that you found, were heading to Baldur's Gate.
Right, those were the mercenaries, right?
We don't know.
Or
sadly,
they were the other one, the ones who didn't warrant getting, jumping in the, going with the money.
I mean, just to add a little bit, I mean, I don't know what resources you have, but we know that there's a specific wagon and horse with them that you might be able to scry on or divine on because it's a specific item and things we know.
That's helpful to know.
Yes, there's the cart, the horse, and then my shield to Bahamut.
Froome opens a drawer, takes out parchment, an ink pot, another ink pot, and puts down several quills on the table. And he slides it in your direction. Any written description, be as detailed as you can be.
Yep.
A lot of our information so far is, listen, up and down the coast, both of us have people that watch for things, look for certain marks, listen for certain words, and, well, we got a hit, as it were. And with what you've told us has really sort of reinforced what we were starting to hear. So, Drovar, to your point, honestly, what group it is, your note may have indicated those people, but we know they're there. The problem being, and this is sort of where y'all come in, is we kind of don't know what they're up to, where they're going. We know the route they're taking, but we don't know its destination. And the only thing we do know is that they're transporting treasure, so things of value. They've been doing from our contacts, they're very secretive about their cargo, but it's been objects of value, and we think that there is a final destination. That's sort of where we land, and again, Anthar kind of taps the hilt of the Baldur's Gate dagger. What we're hoping for, I don't know, Leosin, you want to do the pitch? I can do it.
Right. I mean, Antha. I mean, you know that Antha represents the order. And then kind of like lifts his lapel, and you see the symbol for the Harpers, which most of you are familiar with. Along with some of our agents, along with the Emerald Enclave. As Arthur said, we know that they're going north. They're bringing, when they're doing these raids, they are heading north, and then we're losing them. We don't know where they're going, what's happening. So what we need from all of you is not to catch up to them and destroy them. We need intelligence. We need to find out as much information as possible, so then we can strike.
And Froome backs up Leosin, kind of tapping the table with his gauntlet. We need actionable intelligence. We need proof, names. We need, honestly...
Locations.
Locations. Really, we're looking for recon as opposed to seek and destroy. And listen, the lot of you have dealt with them and have been successful thus far. While I know Vincent may not be present at the moment, I'm pretty sure that man's going to follow them to the ends of the earth. However, we are asking you this, and kind of much as Leosin revealed his symbol of the Harper, Froome puts down his badge of the Order of the Gauntlet. We are asking you to help us in an official capacity. I do not know where your paths were to lie. I do not know where you intended to from here, but it is our sincerest hope that because of your experience and, honestly, what I've seen of you in these past few days, that you would aid us. You would have support from my group and Leosin's as well. I'm going to be honest, doesn't pay much. It's not very glamorous. You might have to sleep in the dirt a few times. But honestly, with their movements and their tactics changing like they have, we're sort of at a loss. We know they're moving. We know they're doing something. Where that road leads is kind of the problem here. And we need someone to walk that road kind of beside them, near them, watching, waiting. Leosin's got contacts more than I can list. But I know of a merchant out in Baldur's Gate that can get people work on caravans that need it. So before we get into specifics, and Froome seems to kind of take a breath, like, this is the moment, right?
Right.
Before we go into details, I have to ask, I guess, will you help the Order, the Harpers, and the Realm in this task?
Yeah, we're going in the same direction. We just wanted to know where to go and what they're up to. We don't know that specifically, but we didn't know where they were headed next. So we've got to get close enough to either pick up their trail, join a caravan that they're part of, and stay close to them till we get something we can report back in so we can round them up.
Honestly, part of this job here is judgment. It's knowing what to do and when to do it. And Froome kind of makes eye contact with Amala, clearly looking at you as a sort of beacon of morality and, sure-headedness. It's about knowing when to raise your sword or when to walk softly. And what I'm hoping is that maybe some of you would take up the badge of the gauntlet, or maybe join in with the Harpers if you're so inclined.
The Harpers always needs good agents.
It's true. But this is going to be a kind of watch and wait. And if you see something that's, terrible and can be prevented, well, I obviously want you to do that. But at the same time, as Leosin has reminded me many times, patience and intelligence can get us a lot farther than the gauntleted fist of Torm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always a time and place for the gauntleted fist of Torm, but we need to strike, and when we strike, it needs to be true, and that's where we are right now. So we do have your assurance that you can help us with this.
You will have me in any capacity that you need to, and I believe we would all feel the same.
Yeah.
I mean, we already started with this, so I had no intention to stop. You know, I want to see it through, if nothing else, for our friend that we lost.
I'm with her.
Oh.
I think we need to capture one of their leaders and break them.
In time, Corporal, in time. Capturing a leader prematurely can lead us astray. We've already lost at least one group to scouting. But if you're agreed, and you can tell there's almost a weight lifted off of Froome, as he was certainly holding his breath for this. We can support you at least slightly monetarily. And in Baldur's Gate as well. There are members of the Gauntlet, and anyone who is willing to wear the badge, and he kind of taps one of his on the table, would gain not maybe additional help, but you would certainly have friends in dark places. I can't speak for the Harpers, but I can only assume they have other agents in other places.
We do, and we also can help where we can. But I will say this. So, one of the arguments Arthur and I had last evening was how much time we have. Now we do. Here's the thing: we don't know how quickly they're moving, and how much time. I mean, according to what you have told us last evening, they're probably maybe a day and a half ahead of you. But again, we don't know if they're being magically helped in their movements or so. But we do know this. We do know how long it takes from that point that you found the note to Baldur's Gate. So you do have anywhere between 20 to 30 days from that point that you found a note to Baldur's Gate, depending on their travel. Now, here's the good news. We can get you to Baldur's Gate in 3 to 4 days.
Aye.
So,
I happen to think that you have a little less time than that, as if these cultists are as fanatical as they've been since we last seen them, or maybe more so, I think you got more like 15 days, 20 at the most, but me and Leosin have agreed to disagree on this matter. But he is right. We can get you to Baldur's Gate quickly, and you might need some time to set up your contacts and set yourselves up with our agents out there. But this is kind of your mission, your job. It's going to be up to you on how fast you leave El Terrell.
Well, I think we've got a few things we want to investigate. Possibly shopping for some better items. Looks over at Amala. It's like, you've got a meeting you want to have. And okay, looking at the map, where is Candlekeep, for example, like relation to this? Because there's questions we have for there, but I'm not sure if we can, if a trip to it. So goes in the middle here.
Leosin just kind of like nods as he sees you kind of like looking over to the map, and he says, to your question last evening about getting to Candlekeep. Now, Candlekeep is just north of Baldur's Gate. If you were to decide to go there first, we can, because you'll be traveling by river. That's how we're going to get you there so quickly. Using that same boat, if we diverted you to Candlekeep, you would actually hit Baldur's Gate first and then go slightly south. We could get you to Candlekeep in 6 days. from Candlekeep, we're going to leave the boat and the boatman at your service. From Candlekeep, it will take you about 3 to 4 days from Candlekeep to get to Baldur's Gate. But you can, if within that time frame of if you're going to be conservative like Onthar, I'd say 20 days, it will be tight, but you could probably do it. But who knows what you're going to find once you get to Candlekeep. You just need to be aware of the time that you're spending and how much time you might have before they arrive in Baldur's Gate. But it's up to you.
Yeah, I still think it might be worth going there first. I don't, just based on the information that like Drovar was saying that we got.
I tend to think that getting a chance to get a little more information would be useful, but that means we should wrap up what we're hoping to do here quickly so we can get a quick start. If we're going to take that extra time, we can't linger in this incredibly bright city for extra time.
Now listen, this window though, we might not get another opportunity like it. So I understand the quest for knowledge, and listen, Candlekeep is the place to be if that's your goal. But if we miss this window, it's gonna kind of set us back quite a bit. So I'm going to ask on your honor and on your faith that you make sure you make this a priority.
Oh, aye. Now, another possibility is some of us go to Candlekeep with the questions that we've got, and some of us stay, start, poking around in Baldur's Gate to set ourselves up in a place where we can jump on the caravan. We're splitting ourselves up, but maybe if we're just gathering information, it's something to consider. I'm not saying that's what we should do, but if time's really of an essence, maybe...
It's too much of a risk if something happens, I think, to split us up like that.
Because then we are 4 days away from each other.
Yeah, if something goes wrong.
Right,
and we wouldn't even know until it was too late.
Then we got to finish up what we're doing here and get moving as quick as we can.
Can I ask, how much longer do you plan to be in El Terrell?
Well, apparently there's somebody who's opened up a special part of their shop for us to take a look at. I've got a sizable amount of prize winnings. I wouldn't mind lightening the load for something actually useful.
We also, Amal's armor is being fitted and stuff, so isn't that like 3 days?
Well, Froom, didn't you say that you would be able to assist him with arms, weapons, armor?
I did. Honestly, as I was hoping to hear the answer that you gave, that you would help us. And if you're willing to help us, we're willing to help you. I have suits of armor in all sizes and shapes, weapons, sharp, ready, and anything you need in the arms and armor department. I mean, heck, the rope and grappling hook department too. I can probably get to you within an hour. Yeah, go ahead.
The twins at the armory are currently working on my plate mail. I believe Gorple would be another 3 days until that is done.
That's what I was saying.
They wouldn't start for another 3 days. So you get the impression that you're getting armor and stuff from Froom. You might want to go back and see where they're at. Possibly get a refund.
Yeah, Froom, if you want to come with me, maybe we can see if we can either get a refund or if they can do it within a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Here's the deal. Have you put out coin for this armor?
Yes.
Aye. Well, here's the deal. You can walk out that door and be fitted within a suit of plate mail in the next 5 minutes. I'll take whatever suit of plate mail they're making to kind of make up for it.
All right.
How much coin have you put down so far?
I believe we paid in full.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was 1650.
That sounds correct.
Yeah, I think that's.
Now, keep in mind, if they made money off you,
1650,
they might be a little more appreciative. and willing to haggle on price.
I mean, but they haven't even started it yet. They said about 3 days until they even start it. We put down all that money to make us top of the list. If we don't need that armor anymore, they don't need our money anymore.
How about this? Amala, I'll get you a fine suit of armor. One from the stores, one that's seen battle and been tested. And then I'll personally go down there and we'll talk about refunds.
Perfect. Thank you, Froome.
No, thank you. Honestly. Truly. Not many would take up the path and put their lives and others' lives into their hearts. And I appreciate it.
And Leosin just kind of nods. He says, I also am able to tell me what kind of transportation you want. If you want horses, I can get you horses for your journey. The boat that you'll be on can easily transport the horses as well, so they can go with you.
Aye.
Yeah, I imagine, honestly, horses, I feel, are going to be our best bet for. We might, but is it faster to travel from Candlekeep over land to Baldur's Gate or taking the river back?
Oh no, it's much faster by the river.
Okay, that's fine.
But as I said, the boatmaster will be left in your stead. He will not leave until you dismiss him.
I have a person down at the docks who's going to treat you well. And again, the moment you tell me you're ready to leave, within the hour, that boat can be ready to cast off.
I actually have a weird question because I know you guys might know some things. Do you have any thin cables or lines that could be attached to arrows for the purpose of shooting a dragon and then making sure that there's a rope hanging off it in case we need to kill it?
I mean, rope I got in troves, but
I would
metal, I don't have it on hand. But...
That sounds like a specialty item that would need to be constructed.
Okay. Or even silk rope, which might be lighter so that it doesn't disrupt the arrow flight. I don't know. I'm just trying to spitball here.
I understand, Corporal, but maybe thinking a strategy. Let's think about it down the line. Since you've agreed, it of course is up to any of you whether you walk the path of the Gauntlet or join the path of the Harper. I'd be happy to have each and every one of you in my ranks, but of course I can't make that choice for you. So here's what the deal is. There's a man named Aiken in Baldur's Gate. He is, like I said, he's a merchant connected to other merchants who need caravans, postage. He's going to be your contact out there. Once you get in touch with him, he's going to set you up, and we're going to need to communicate. So you're going to get one of these. And Froome pulls a desk open, and you see a stone. The stone has a rune on one side, and then a mirror of that rune on the other side. This is a sending stone. And it comes back to me. And I imagine, Leosin, you're sticking around for a while? Or are you out of here on the next boat?
I'll be here for at least next week.
All right. So this comes right back to me. And when you learn things, you hear things, I'd appreciate it if you'd let me know. And he will slide it over the table, letting anyone who chooses to take it up.
So I'll take it.
Okay, Basha takes it.
As well as the sending stone, the gauntlet has been authorized, and you see Froome opens up a small safe that's behind the desk, and he takes out five pouches. And he puts them kind of right down, and you can tell there are coins in each of them.
Oh, so I'm beyond the days of having to count them out for everyone. They're pre-counted. This is lovely.
I mean,
don't get used to it. It's very nice of him to do that for us, but the guys we take the loot off of after we've, righteously defeated them in the name of all good.
Yes,
They
yes,
don't
I will
give
still,
up in advance for us.
I will
They're
still
evil.
divide.
That's the truest sense of evil when you don't even count your coins.
How much are in each bag?
There's 50 gold for each of you for expenses, staying in inns, feeding horses, the like. I wanted to provide something of mine. Amala, I don't get to... listen, you'd think in my line of work I'd deal with a lot of paladins, but many paladins, they hear their call and they walk a more dangerous path than I. My path has been to relegate others, soldiers, mercenaries, followers of the faith. But rarely do I get to gift another paladin something a paladin once gave to me. Now, you beat our local champion, and it was a hell of a fight. And I personally believe that all champions deserve belts. And you see Leosin kind of stands, and he undoes this belt, which is kind of like a thick girdle around his waist. And the face on the front of it is kind of like it's not necessarily a certain race or creature. It just is like a mean, mugging, just kind of like squint-eyed face. And he takes his belt off and he hands it over to you. And he goes back to the safe and he puts 2 potions on the table as well. Now listen, I'm giving this gift for you to hold, Amala. One day, a paladin will cross your path, and you will know what to do with it. These are just to keep yourself nice and hearty on the journey. Anyone who's drank a potion of healing before looks at 2 potions of healing. Greater.
I thank you very much for this gift, From. I do appreciate it, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the fight.
Oh, I always do. Now, Leosin, we talked about a great many things, and it seems that we have found good allies this day. Well, maybe many days ago, we just happened to finally get into the same room together.
It's been some time, yeah.
The only thing that I really don't have an answer for, nor do I really know even where to start, is what the hell to do with those goddamn eggs.
I was gonna ask.
You just take them, you put them next to your bed, and every night you sing them a little lullaby, and that's it. And they trust me when I tell you it will make a difference.
Leosin puts a finger up. There's no way in hell that you will find anyone in this city willing to put dragon eggs next to that, besides all of you.
Well, then we take them to Candlekeep, and I bet you someone in Candlekeep will.
That's a better idea. I mean, being on the boat, at least we don't have to lug him around.
Mm-hmm.
I want to throw this idea out, however. What about Kirod?
Yes.
Do you think maybe
I don't know if I trust him. I'm sorry, no offense. I mean, he's your champion. But, like, what? Right, I don't know. Look, we don't know him.
If you're going to do that thing with him and you come out of it and it all works out, then it sounds like, he'll have shown his true color, as it were. But do the thing with him yourself before you put the little ones, in his care. Because, when are you going to see him again? You don't know.
I don't know. I think one of them's almost ready to hatch. Started moving. That's pretty cool.
No. This is not the city for that.
I'm going to just throw this out there. What about Baco and his grandfather? They might watch the eggs. They seem like they are very, I don't know, they have, strange views on, discipline and, the world, and it's different. I don't know. Maybe they'll watch the eggs.
But if
or we could just take them to Candlekeep.
If the egg hatches while it's under their care, then they have a small baby dragon to deal with.
Oh, that's true. I don't want to do that to someone I just met. All right, never mind. We take them. Well, unless they're wizards or something, because they're more equipped. I don't know.
All right, so we'll do the thing with Kirod. We'll make the decision. If we do not think that he would take good care of them, we'll take them to Candlekeep with us.
Yeah, I mean, Buster, you can't just after a first date leave the lad in a family way. It's just not
true.
right.
Wow.
It's true.
Things move fast with you, huh?
Hey,
That's
it's
what I'm
nothing like
learning.
what happened with my husband many years ago. I have 2 daughters, remember?
Yeah, but he married you.
Yes, he did. That's true.
Well, listen, those eggs are a liability, and I trust your judgment, and it seems that you've been trying to use nurture versus nature sort of thing, and I commend your efforts, but these are black dragons, and I need you to truly understand, and I mean, Amala, I can only imagine what you've already told them about this, but
Both Vincent and I.
chasing the cult of the dragon with dragon eggs is some kind of poetically fucked up shit. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do. I think, we either put him on the boat with us, and if you want the Ruby guy to, does he even know you have him?
I did not divulge that information to him.
Yeah. Do the other thing, that whatever it is you're going to do with him, and then say, oh, by the way, maybe you know some things about how these... I'm going to show you something. Whatever you want to do. But I don't think they should stay in this city. I think Candlekeep's probably, at least it's a little more remote. Sounds like it's full of people who'd love to study them, if nothing else.
If there's anyone who's gonna know what to do with dragon eggs, it will be a dragonologist or some shite in Candlekeep. But if you're saying what's about to hatch,
yes.
Torm grant you the wisdom to know what to do in that moment.
Indubitably. So, I suggest that you take care of what you need to take care of as quickly as you can. And then we will see you back here at some point, and we'll get you on your way.
All right.
Before you go, though, I do hope that some of you will wear the badge of the gauntlet.
So since Warple already has the badge of the gauntlet, I think I would like to take up the badge of the Harper. That way we're.
Oh, I was going to say that.
We can both do it, Masha.
Yeah, why not? I don't know. You sure you don't want to do gauntlet? That seems more paladin to me. No offense.
I think this is just to cover all of our bases.
All right. When you finish taking care of what you need to today, I'll be here. If not in Froom's office, I should be just here in the day room. Come see me, and we can discuss it at length.
All right.
All right. I don't know if there's anything. I don't think I don't have anything else. I believe, Froom, you had something for any kind of motions to Gorple.
Well, I did. Gorple, you've shown yourself to be a man of faith, a man with an inquisitive mind, and a man with a generosity of spirit. You care about those around you. You care about those that run with you. And I can tell that by your relationship with Teague and your friends as well. And for that reason, I would like to grant you the rank of Marchon in the Order of the Gauntlet.
Oh, thanks. That's cool.
The work only gets harder, and the pay gets slightly worse.
I'm not in it for the money.
Good, lad. That'll get you far in the Order of the Gauntlet.
Proud of you. You've changed since the early days.
No, I bounty hunt on the side for the money. I order the gauntlet as my main time.
Do you have your pin? And Froom will take the pin from you and kind of put a hand over it. And he seems to speak to it, and when he releases it, you see there's a tiny blue gem in the hilt of the sword that the gauntlet grasps. And clearly this denotes the rank of the second-ranked member of the Order of the Gauntlet. When you meet with others in the agency, Corporal, you will get proper treatment, as will anyone you vouch for as well.
This is weird. I must be the first grung to ever be part of the Order of the Gauntlet.
You know, I'd have to check the records, but I think you're right.
So as you kind of finish up, they all both kind of nod, and you kind of gather yourselves up to leave. And as you kind of walk out, Basha and Amala, there's a tap on both of your shoulders, and unbeknownst to you, Eliason actually followed you both out. And he's right behind you. You didn't even hear him. And he just, can I speak with both of you for a moment?
Sure.
Of course.
Well, we've come a long way from talking like outside in the dark. This is better.
He kind of pulls, Gorple and Drovar have already kind of got ahead of you. He says, I'm going to make this quick. We can speak tomorrow about the specifics of becoming a harper. And I will have your pins for you when you're ready. But there's something, as you are heading towards Baldur's Gate, there is something I would like for both of you as an assignment, your first assignment, to look into.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of he looks around for a minute to see if anybody's listening. It doesn't look like anybody's listening. He says, all right, so there's been an issue that, again, with the cult and everything that's been happening, we haven't been able to kind of fully address. But this might be something you could help with. A few months ago, there were these two half giants that have been causing a problem. They were first spotted in terrorizing merchants. That's very, very south of here, more southeast of here. They would demand money and goods, and then when they were denied, they would destroy the merchants' wares, stores, or homes. Not too long after, and considering that you're going to Candlekeep, you might be able to get some information about this. They actually tried to stupidly breach the gates of Candlekeep. Seeing the castle fortress, they thought there were riches inside. When they found out it was a library, they just decided to leave. The mages at Candlekeep were not able to easily defeat them, which is strange in itself. Apparently, the encounter only lasted a day. We have gotten reports in the last 2 weeks that they were seen in Little Kalimshan, which is at the outer city of Baldur's Gate. Now, here's where it gets even stranger. There is a possibility that they have a child with them. The recent report says that they were seen talking and laughing with a very young tiefling child. It couldn't be more than 13 or 14 years. And this is also part of the strangeness of this situation. They seem to be able to move very quickly. When the law and seemed to try to have them cornered, they simply disappeared, and they were seen at Candlekeep a week later. It's almost a month's travel from to Candlekeep, yet they were seen there a week later. I don't know how much truth there is into that, but they have hurt many people. No one has died. There hasn't been any fatalities as of yet. But if you can find out any information, possibly even stop them, not only would it be helpful, you will obviously be rewarded for your efforts. But please see what you can do.
Of course.
All right, so please
Absolutely.
Do what you can. We'll see you shortly. And I hope I see you sooner rather than later. Okay.
Be well.
You as well. And you all begin to go about your various things that you have planned for the day. And with that, as we're going to call it for the evening.
Yeah.
All right.
We get to go shopping next time.
Yeah. Let's see. You got shopping. You got some kind of weird gem dragonborn ceremony.
Yeah.
You got zero information about. So that should be nothing but good stuff.
Yeah.
I have my
that'll go
faith in
well.
Bahamut. We'll be fine.
And now some of you are Harpers, along with your Order of the Gauntlets friend Gorple there. And by the way, like throughout this whole thing, Vincent has been upstairs still sleeping.
We'll make sure he gets a suit of stud leather armor because he was looking for that.
Yeah, that no problem. But yes, as soon as you guys are done with your stuff and you come back to Froome and Leosin, you could probably start heading out to wherever you need to head out to.
Yeah.
That's good session, guys. Good game.
Good games.
Game, everybody.
Also,
Fun.
did that bell have any special properties, by the way, that I was given?
Did. I don't know if. I mean, you haven't attuned or identified it yet. I'm gonna talk to Chris, and Chris is gonna let you know what that belt does or doesn't do.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Basha will identify for
Yes, yeah. As soon as you say you identify it next game, I will absolutely update you on what it does.
Perfect.
you. Yeah.
You can now raise your eyebrow independently when you people.
Well, actually, the
The
Dragonborn
people's
gets
brow.
eyebrows. That'll be the weird thing. It's like,
Oh, that-
what
Yep.
are these? What are these up here?
Now, are they scale eyebrows or are they like hair eyebrows?
Hair eyebrows, because that's just
Ugh.
weirder.
Oh.
The weirder the better. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Fuzzy eyebrows, like Muppet eyebrows.
Big old animal eyebrows, just like they look like they want to reach out and grab you.
Am I a Dragonborn or am I a Muppet?
You're a Muppet now. That's how this works. I mean, Warple's already halfway there, so we're like,
How dare you?
Wow. Shots fired.
Wow. Nice. So good game, everybody. Want to thank
close on.
I want to thank my excellent players. Thank you so much for such a great session. Want to thank all of you for watching and being part of the craziness that is our game, Tyranny of Dragons. Thank you so much. And as we end for the night, as we always do, we try to raid off to someone who has not only shown us support but is deserving of support also. So as we raid, as we end, don't leave right away because we're going to raid. Follow them if you're not following them. Say hello in chat if you're so inclined. But at the very least, if you're just going to watch them, that is at the very minimum, that is the most awesome support that you can give anybody. So we do appreciate all of you for watching, being part of our show, especially with all of the inspirations. We love you all very much. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and we'll see you next time. Take care.